6 o'clock exactly at the MJ Morning Show, and we're back in that mode again here as we're waiting for this thing to get into the Gulf of Mexico, for Helene to, well, essentially pass our latitude. That's when I feel a bit more comfortable, when the storm passes our latitude. I don't know if you saw some of the overnight tracking, but there appears to be a little bit of a jog to the west, which, is a little more beneficial for us. The deal here, it's going to be Thursday. You're going to get rain and outer bands hitting later today, this evening, into the overnight hours. So rain and some of the wind bands will begin. What are you smirking at over there, Fester?
It's just funny. You said earlier, just literally a minute ago, the changes in latitude.
Yeah.
Oh, did you think of the song?
He has a change in his attitude.
An attitude,
right? Which
yeah.
changes in
I thought same.
Yeah.
The Jimmy Buffett song.
Yeah. I see. I don't. All I know from Buffett is like cheeseburger and paradise.
Listen,
But
we can enjoy a nice cheeseburger after it passes our latitude.
I've never been a. I've never been a big Buffett fan.
But you will have.
May he rest in peace, though.
There will be a big change in your attitude as there's a change in the latitude.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Hurricane.
Okay.
Helene.
All right.
Helene.
I say Helene.
What is
Dude, it's Helene.
Helene.
I remember Helena. Remember Hurricane Helena? Helena.
There's
Helena.
Helena was
blew
a
my
hurricane.
swing set down my street. My big metal swing set.
No,
when I was a kid.
Elena.
Helena.
It was Helena.
You sure? You sure it wasn't Elena? I don't.
There's Elena, Helena.
I got to be honest. I've been through this now for 30 years. I arrived in Tampa Bay in February of '94, the beginning of the MJ and BJ morning show, and we've been through this drill countless times. The names it's one of my flaws. I can't remember much of the names. What I do remember is like Charlie. Was that 2004?
Mm-hmm.
Charlie, which was headed toward us and then took that last minute turn into Charlotte Harbor, into,
That ripped across the strait.
Yeah,
Was it Arcadia?
It ended up inland, over Arcadia and then, up through Polk County.
And then there were two more after Charlie.
Yeah, we had four. That year there was like four, and they like all crisscrossed on some corner in Polk County. It was like you watch the lines and they all just like ran through like the same street corner, essentially.
Hey, don't call yourself a bad hurricane namer, because Fester's Googling it and looks like you were right. I think it was Hurricane Elena.
Yeah, Hurricane Elena was like in the late 80s, early 90s.
All right, so Elena knocked your swing set over in 1985, Andrew says?
I had a big swing set. I mean, it was a metal, into the ground swing set.
Right.
And it just blew on down the street.
Yeah, we used to have that kind of that tripod kind of swing set with the metal. Remember those old I don't think those are very safe today, but the crap that we had as kids. But I remember we used to have this swing set with the diagonal metal poles on each end, and you had to dig it into the ground. I think you're supposed to pour concrete, and my dad never did that.
Nobody poured
so
concrete.
we used to ride the swing so high, you'd get to the point of almost going over the top, and we used to make the poles come out of the ground.
Yeah,
those
exactly.
Those
yeah.
old school metal swing
They
sets.
creak.
And
Yep.
then you even had the tandem little, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What'd you call that thing? On one end,
It's not a seesaw.
Yeah,
but
I was
it's-
gonna
was
say seesaw.
it was you had two people could ride this thing,
Yeah.
and you used to go back and forth.
Pull back like a pulley thing.
Exactly. I don't think they make those old school metal swing sets. You used to go to Sears and buy it in a giant box with all the poles, and then you had to put the thing together with the bolts and
nuts
everything.
and bolts
Yep.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Roxanne lost hers in 1985 because of Hurricane
Yeah.
Elena.
How old were you in 1985?
I have no idea. I was an infant, but I was very
You-
advanced in that I was climbing on.
you were
know.
an infant in
Yeah,
1985?
but an infant with a swing set.
Yeah, I'm sure
I was
you were.
very advanced
You were,
because I
you were
was climbing.
3 months old on a swing set.
Listen,
There you
Doing
go.
penny
that's
drops.
the year she started smoking. In 1985.
All right, so timing wise on this thing, tomorrow's going to be ugly. Just tomorrow's going to be nasty. Yeah, this thing is going to be significantly offshore, but this storm, Helene, is so massive. It is a humongous storm. The width, the breadth of this is going to bring us wind and rain. We're not going to have the hurricane force winds sustained. You know, the wind forecasting for the Tampa Bay area, it's really wind and surge. As far as rainfall, it's not going to be crazy. You know, some of the models for rainfall that I've seen through Saturday only put, maybe 3 inches of rain over all of those days in the Tampa Bay area. That's just an average. Of course, your mileage may vary. It's going to be storm surge. And again, for the immediate Bay Area, there are predictions of 5 to 8 feet of storm surge. And some are saying that might be a little bit on the higher side. However, that's where the big concern is. Beach erosion, storm surge. The areas that typically flood will most likely have issues because of the storm surge. The rain, it's not going to be as bad as the rain event that we've had previously. Debbie brought more rain. Debbie was a slug. Earlier this summer, Debbie just rolled through at a snail's pace. It was slow, so it was just a lot of rain, and that just inundated our area. It taxed the drainage systems, the sewer systems, so we had a lot more rain and problems with Debbie than we're going to have with the predictions with Helene, because Helene is going to cruise. Helene is going to book on through. It's a fast-moving storm. So will we have wind issues? Yeah, we're going to have tropical storm force winds. As far as gusts, could we hit some hurricane gusts along the coast? I think that's probably likely, according to the forecasts. But for us, the storm surge, they say, is going to be the biggest concern. And again, what actually verifies, we have to wait and see. Low-lying areas, if you know you're in a problem area, you're probably going to have an issue. So just be prepared with sandbags and whatever you need to do. However, we're not going to see as much rain as we saw with Debbie. Now, the timing of this, it's going to be
shifted a little, right?
Well, the National Hurricane Center, they did not adjust their forecast. So their actual path and cone did not shift. And yesterday, the Tampa Bay area, we fell out of the cone. The day prior, we were in the easternmost edge of the cone of death. Right? We're totally out of the cone. But this storm is so big, we're going to get, effects of Tropical Storm Helene, which will turn into a hurricane later today. It could even be a hurricane with the 8 a.m. advisory coming up in just a couple of hours. So they could actually make it a hurricane, which means sustained winds of 74 miles an hour at least. All right, just getting rolling. The school closures, listen, if you have no school today, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You're not turning on the radio at 6 a.m. like, what? We
Those-
have a day off?
Yes. Listen, all the major counties,
All the counties, even the insignificant counties. Looking at you, Hardy.
Yeah.
They've all taken precautions.
Now, Polk County is open today. So Polk County closed tomorrow and Friday, but most of the counties are closed today and Thursday.
The closer you are to the coast,
Yeah.
you're probably closed today.
And then a bunch of the counties, they have not made a decision yet for Friday. So you got to just pay attention. All right, we'll give you a more detailed list. We're just getting rolling. I noticed a couple of things on the drive in this morning. We're just getting started. We're going to do a normal show today with the right amount of storm and hurricane coverage. Dennis Phillips joins us at 8:30 this morning. So Dennis's insight is always phenomenal. Just starting this thing on a Wednesday morning. It is the MJ Morning Show. Cash Kitty hits at 8 a.m. Your chance to win $1,000. I'm going to give away another Zoji Rushi rice cooker for National Rice Month. And when you're thinking about hurricanes,
I mean, really,
you really have to have a rice cooker.
How is it not in the preparedness kit for everybody?
You got to have a rice cooker. All right, traffic's on. Let's grab Shriner with the latest. He's in for Pat. Back in a minute, folks.
Still no incidents.
6:21. It's the MJ Morning Show. MJ here. Fester, Roxanne, Andrew in the booth. That is the BOOF, the booth, like a birthday. All right. So we're all obviously getting kind of prepared for this thing, and we're going to be on the periphery, but the storm is so big, we're going to have rain and wind. Storm surge is really the largest concern if you listen to the local meteorologists. One of those local meteorologists, Skip McFuzzy, will join us at 8:30 this morning. No, Dennis. There's no Skip McFuzzy.
No, he's the new guy at WTOG, Channel 44.
WTOG. All right, so,
hey, can I do a little PSA?
Hold on one sec. Dennis
Okay.
Phillips will join us at 8:30 this morning. And Dennis, he's very, very generous with his time. Dennis will give us as much time as we need. Dennis will go from 8:30 until 12 noon if need be. Yeah, he'll just stay on the phone with us, and it's always great to have a conversation with Dennis. So 8:30 this morning. Yesterday he was on at 7:30. This morning he'll be with us at 8:30 this morning with the latest. And, of course, the 8 o'clock intermediate advisory will already have been out. What is your PSA?
Semi-storm related. Can I tell you guys, driving to work today, particularly on the Howard Franklin Bridge, I was terrified.
What?
People were driving like animals.
I drove in, half an hour or so before you, and 40 minutes. It was fine.
Something changed. I was trying to get on the bridge. There was a truck in front of me, made someone else swerve off the side of the road on the bridge.
That's called normal commuter traffic in Tampa Bay.
It was when I was like white knuckling and like heart racing, people cutting me off, swerve. When you are just trying to drive the speed limit or, 10 miles over the speed limit in a middle lane, you should be pretty safe. I had people trying to pull into my lane where there's a single line where you're not supposed to pass, but just like pull right into me.
Yeah.
And
some people,
crazy.
they don't realize the regular traffic regulations that a dotted line, you can change lanes. If you have a solid white line, then you don't change lanes over that, and it happens all the time. All right, here's the deal, and I have recognized a little bit of what you're saying, but this morning my commute in, everything was great. I'm on the road, 5:20.
Less people on the road then.
It depends.
Half an hour,
But it fluctuates. Sometimes traffic's light, sometimes traffic is heavier. I had no issues. It was normal. What I did notice on the Howard Franklin Bridge is all of the construction crane barges are all clustered. It looks like they did a little bit more of a cluster. They started doing this yesterday. On the way home yesterday, after the show, I noticed that they were moving barges around. But it looks like they have them a little closer to shore, and they have them clustered even more. They've got a lot. It's like everything's jammed together on the Tampa side of the Howard Franklin Bridge. All of those huge, most of them are New Orleans-based, big construction barges with the big cranes for building the new Howard Franklin Bridge, and they are all clustered together. Now, they've done this over the last number of years.
Yeah, every time there's a storm.
Yeah, however, it looks like it's even more of a tighter cluster. And it's closer to the bridge, so it looks ginormous. The other thing I noticed is if you're headed southbound on the Howard Franklin Bridge, 275 South, they've picked up all of the construction barrels. The orange round barricades.
Yeah, they're all gone?
They picked up all of them. There are a few, as you get over to the St. Pete side, there are a couple over on the left on the St. Pete side on 275 southbound, but all of those construction barrels along the right shoulder, where all like the cement trucks and all the construction vehicles kind of pull in, those are all picked up. So don't think you've got 2 extra lanes. Seriously, don't think you have 2 extra lanes on the Howard Franklin Bridge. Back to what you were saying, Roxanne. You know what? You're not far off on certain things here, because I have noticed over the years, and again, I have been in Tampa Bay since 1994, over 30 years. And when we do have the storms and people are in prep mode, there are times where I do notice people driving like maniacs. That there's an evacuation order, or level A evacuation, this, that. The tolls have been suspended. I have noticed over the years that some people drive like absolute effing maniacs.
I think people are a little bit frenzied, and I think a lot of people have more to do, whether it's storm prep or get into work, get your stuff done so you can then leave work, and so it makes everyone rush.
Yeah, the anxiety of the day. Yesterday, Allison couldn't watch the storm coverage because she was getting nervous just in the anxiety of it. She's like, are we going to be okay? I was like, most likely. She's like, all right, I'll take that. But she didn't want to watch the extended Weather Channel coverage with Jim Cantori over up in Hudson.
Where did they send him? Was he was in Pasco first or what?
No, so I got a text from one of our listeners at the end of the show that
you have that meme that floats around. It's like, yeah, you're really up crap creek when this guy shows up, and it's a picture of Jim Cantori from the Weather Channel.
So at the end of the show yesterday, I got a text from one of our listeners and said that Cantori was a Newport Richie.
I saw the same thing somewhere. I think it might have been like in my Instagram feed that Cantori was in Newport Richie, but trust me, he's heading up to Apalachicola or on the campus of
FSU or FAMU.
Yeah.
So last night I was watching about 8:15. I was watching the Weather Channel. It was already dark out, and he was in Hudson, still in that geographic area. I think Pasco County or Hernando County up there. And now he's out of here. He's like, forget this town.
Yeah.
I'm moving to the Big Bend. I'm moving to the action.
But even yesterday, the track was still, even from the weekend, the track was pretty much going to be up toward the Big Bend to Apalachicola.
I bet you it was flight related.
Yeah, he probably. Oh, you know what? He flew into Tampa International.
And as soon as he lands, he gets his bag. He's like, "Take me to the coast."
Listen, and as far as the airport goes, I mean, obviously check your flight schedule if you are flying out. Most flights, Tampa International, I think is going to run mostly normally today. Tomorrow, you're screwed. I would say that virtually everything is going to be canceled tomorrow. Again, check your flight. The airlines is supposed to be accommodating. However, Michelle's sister was supposed to fly out for a convention, and she was getting crap from the airlines. I'll call Michelle later on and find out if she knows what airline. But yesterday, and let's see, yesterday was Tuesday. So Monday and Tuesday, Michelle's sister, Mandy, she lives up in Chiefland. So kind of a nice drive up US 19.
Chiefland?
It's on the way to Tallahassee.
Yeah, I know what it is. I know where it is and what it is, but
I have no idea how the hell Michelle's sister ended up in Chiefland, but that's where she lives. But they drive down here. They got a 2-hour drive down.
They drive down here for plumbing. I mean, Chiefland. Who the hell lives in Chiefland?
They come down here to take a 1 and 2. All right. So she was leaving Tampa International for a convention, and she was trying to move her flight earlier because of potential. And whatever airline they were dealing with yesterday, they were not very accommodating and would not alter things without change fees. But now I'm hearing that all the airlines are changing flights and they're accommodating. So what a difference a couple of hours makes, I guess. But I want to get the Michelle story. 6:29 at the MJ Morning Show. But back to your point. Back to your point for a second here, Rox.
About the driving?
Yeah. Back to the driving. There are some people that think that driving rules, just normal behavior, laws, speed limits. There are some people that think that if there's an impending storm that all of those rules and laws are lifted.
Yeah.
No. Sometimes they take the tolls away. Sometimes they will relieve you of paying a toll during, an emergency. Hey, DeSantis declared a state of emergency, I think, in 61 counties. I mean, it's an enormous amount of counties.
Big swath.
Yeah. What county did he leave off? I think we have 62 counties.
67.
67?
Yeah,
okay.
Florida has 67 counties, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But, so just an enormous. Hold on, Andrew. How many? I thought I saw 61.
67.
I just read 41.
Okay, so I thought I saw 61 counties.
I mean, all the Atlantic Coast counties really don't fall underneath the state of emergency.
No, here we go. Governor DeSantis expands state of emergency to 61 counties.
Okay.
So
we have 67 total.
Yeah.
I mean, Miami-Dade is like those kind of counties left off because that's really well out of the direction.
Although I think they were put under a watch earlier this morning because the storm is
Still south of them.
Well, but it's
Yeah.
it's not
It's
going
big.
there, but
Right.
it's so big and wide
Right.
with the amount of wind and rain.
Like Escambia or Santa Rosa or Oskaloosa up in the far panhandle, maybe.
Let's make guesses. Yeah.
I don't think it's Oskaloosa. I think it's Okaloosa.
I say Okaloosa.
Yeah.
Okaloosa.
You said Oskaloosa.
Oskaloosa,
Anyway,
Oscar.
there are so many counties up in the Panhandle that I never knew existed.
Yeah.
Like Gadsden County. Where the hell's
No.
that?
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's like I think
It's just north of Tallahassee.
I think it's northwest of Tallahassee, right on the Georgia line. But there are a ton of counties up there that I've never even heard of. Might as well be Alabama. All right, 6:32 as we get started here on a Wednesday morning in prep mode. You can rely on the MJ Morning Show. When you need to know, we're going to tell you. All right, let's take a little break. We'll do some early morons in the news next. Hey, with an impending storm, windows and doors. Show on a Wednesday morning as we watch the Gulf of Mexico and wait with tropical storm, soon to be Hurricane Helene on wheels. All right, 6:40 early Morons in the news on the MJ Morning Show. All right, first of all, this is a jackass move. You know, in the times where there's always a concern about that next kid to go postal and, you know, shoot up a school, probably not a good idea if you're a high school kid and you make a rifle image out of Dr. Pepper cans and then post it on your social media.
All right.
Did I describe that properly?
I think so.
The kid made like a rifle outline out of Dr. Pepper cans, put it up on his social, and obviously other kids and friends and said, hey, look, is this some kind of a signal? What is this kid telling us? He posted a picture of an assault rifle made out of Dr. Pepper cans and put the image up on his social media.
Yeah, make another craft. You know, take all that creative craftiness and make another object other than a rifle with your Dr. Pepper cans.
Yeah, this is a kid at Liberty Middle School. This is in Missouri.
I mean, did he do it at school? Or did he do it at home?
We posted it. That's the problem.
I don't have a problem with him posting it. He's not making a threat.
Oh, you don't have a problem with him making a rifle out of Dr. Pepper cans stacked end to end? You know, he made it in the shape of a gun. It's a 13-year-old kid.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with this.
He's been suspended. He posted a picture of Dr. Pepper cans in the shape of a high-powered rifle. The school called it a threat.
Oh, shut up.
The boy's mom said it was just creativity.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
The
Call-
fine line between a school threat and, he's just being creative. Hey, he's doing arts and crafts at home.
Yeah. There are other things you can make with your crafts.
He didn't say I'm gonna shake all these cans and bust them open on students at lunch. You know, he didn't make any threats. He posted a picture of a bunch of soda cans in a line and a trigger.
This is quite a debate going on here.
I mean, it's not like he used Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
That would have really triggered people.
The boy's mother is Riley Grunden, and the mother said, Dr. Pepper cans? This is a threat? Yeah, so over the weekend, Grunden's 13-year-old son was, I guess, being creative, stacked Dr. Pepper cans end to end to make them look like an AK-47 rifle. The word got out. School officials stated that her son needed to turn himself into the district's central office because of concerns over the online post.
How ridiculous is this?
When I went to the central office, I was there to defend my son because I felt like he did nothing wrong. Grunden's son was given a 3-day suspension, and his mother says that she was also told that her son needed to be searched after his little weekend creativity.
Dude, the NRA should send this kid to Disney World. On his 3-day suspension.
Let me be clear here. That I don't think that posting a picture of Dr. Pepper cans stacked end to end in the shape of a rifle, I don't think that means that you're going to be the next school shooter. Can I suggest something?
Yeah.
Please.
I suggest that the mother and the son get together with the school district administrators and they shoot a little video and they just lip sync to
I drink Dr. Pepper and I'm proud.
that's what
I'm part of an original crowd. And if you look around these days, there seems to be a Dr. Pepper craze. I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper. If you drink Dr. Pepper, you're a pepper too. Be a pepper, drink Dr. Pepper. Be a pepper.
I'm sorry.
All right, hold on.
Yeah.
Isn't the word pepper, to pepper something, a gun term?
Yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, now you're getting it, Fester.
Yeah.
Now you see the
no.
devil.
Oh.
Like when former Vice President Dick Cheney
Shot that poor guy in the face.
he was out like on a quail shoot, and that was the term they used, that he peppered this guy in the face with birdshot.
Yeah, put a bunch of black dots in his face.
Like he had a bunch of blackheads. Are you a Zitzo?
Face the facts, Zitzo. So I would send my son to school every day in that I'm a pepper t-shirt after this event. This is so ridiculous.
Have him go with a Dr. Pepper t-shirt to school.
I'd buy 20 of them. Put them in rotation.
Yeah, those are available on Etsy, right?
Listen, this is pretty ridiculous.
Maybe it was a little bit of an overreaction. Because I don't think that he did anything to threaten the school, per se.
I think the issue is, I think what you have to do is you have to investigate if there are any other factors that you're not aware of. Like you find this social media post. Okay, is this a threat? All right. Is he going through any XYZ behavioral issues or,
I got the child analysis now with the Roxanne.
Yeah. I mean, other parents want to take this stuff seriously.
You know what the best part of the story is?
What's the best part?
The fact that I could dig out that classic Dr. Pepper jingle.
I drink Dr. Pepper and I'm proud. I'm part of an original crowd. And if you look around these days, there seems to be a Dr. Pepper craze. I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper. If you drink Dr. Pepper, you're a pepper too. Be a pepper, drink Dr. Pepper. Be a pepper.
It's a great commercial.
It really is.
Yeah.
Did I see a report that Dr. Pepper is like the second most popular cola in the country?
Why wouldn't it be?
Past
It's
Pepsi?
not a cola. Why would, dude?
It's a soda.
It's-
soda.
Dude,
What
it
is
is not a cola.
It's a cherry soda.
It's a soda.
Is it-
Actually,
What's the flavor in Dr. Pepper?
it's prunes. I
Seriously?
believe that a lot of the flavoring for Dr. Pepper comes from prunes. Andrew says that there are 23 different flavors, but I think it's look on Reddit. Look at this. Can anyone name the 23 flavors? I think that one of the prominent flavors in Dr. Pepper is Prunes? No, hold on. I thought I was heard. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought I heard prunes.
If it's prunes, then it should be called Dr. Pooper. Because I tell you, I've got caught in a bag
I'm
of
a
prunes.
pooper. You're a pooper. She's a pooper. Wouldn't
Okay,
you like to be a pooper too, Dr. Pooper?
I found what you're talking about.
What am I talking about?
You're talking about the 23 flavors in Dr. Pepper.
Yes.
All right. Here they are.
Yes.
You want me to read them?
Go all 23?
Let's go.
Hold on. What's the source on this? Is this like just some guy named Fred?
This is called chefresource.com.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
This is
Yeah,
a source from
that's
chefs.
there we go.
Sounds very precise.
Sounds official.
Yep. All right. Cola, cherry, licorice, amaretto, almond, vanilla, blackberry, apricot, blackberry, caramel, pepper, anise, sarsaparilla.
Sarsaparilla.
Well, they
Okay.
put an extra R in there, so that threw me off, but I thought it was sarsaparilla too. Orange, ginger, juniper, birch, lemon, molasses, nutmeg, cardamom. That is one of my favorite flavors, by the way. Allspice,
I like tamarind. Anyway, go ahead.
coriander, and rosemary. I don't see a
There's
blip
no
about
freaking.
prunes.
Where the hell did I hear? I've been thinking for my whole life that there were prunes in Dr. Pepper.
Dr.
Where,
Pooper.
where did I get prunes?
Yeah.
What?
Soda's ranked by
Prunes.
popularity. Number 1, of course, Coke. Number 2, Dr. Pepper and Pepsi. They're tied. Number 3 is Sprite.
Okay, but here we go. Prunes have a caramel flavoring to them, and caramel was one of the flavors in Dr. Pepper.
That's a stretch.
Mm.
I just
Oh,
I
trying to help
always
you.
I always heard someone say that there were prunes in Dr.
I've eaten a
Pepper.
reasonable amount of prunes in my life. I've never once thought of a
You know what?
caramel
Maybe
apple.
maybe it's Mr. Pibb with the prunes. Mr. Pibb.
All right, what are the 23 flavors of Mr. Pibb?
Where the hell are we on Morons in the News? Moving along, Morons. Oh, I didn't get to this one. A Frontier Airlines passenger. This is last week. Frontier Airlines passenger screamed the plane is going down and choked a flight attendant on Frontier. That's a good way to buy yourself a little federal stretch, you know?
I mean, you better hope the plane goes down if you do that. Because
Yeah,
it's-
California man's been arrested, choked and kicked several Frontier Airlines flight attendants while screaming the plane is going down. A wild midair meltdown. This is already a little over a week old. I just didn't get around to it. Charles Angel Salva, 30, accused of attacking the crew soon after the flight took off from Santa Ana out in California en route to San Francisco. Salva, who had just spent the weekend at Disneyland down in Anaheim, California with his 3-year-old daughter, claimed to investigators in the aftermath that he was a child molester and he lashed out because he feared those on board were trying to get him to admit to his crimes. Man, this guy needs a checkup from the neck up. Sounds like this guy's a mental case. The chaos kicked off when Salva allegedly stood up and tried to rip down his oxygen mask from the overhead compartment. You can't even see those things. Those things are inside the plastic door, and when there's a pressurization problem, that's when they drop. So he's trying to, rip open the compartment to rip out his oxygen mask?
It's kind of like trying to take out your own airbag. I mean, they're meant to be concealed.
Mr. Salva, can I point out that your air little bag might not be inflating, but that doesn't mean that there's not a flow of oxygen. Oh, and please attend to yourself first before your 3-year-old child.
Yes.
All right? When
You know what?
when you rip your oxygen mask out of the ceiling of the airplane.
He said he's a child toucher.
Well, that's
Jeez.
If he
Yeah,
has a 3-year-old child with him, I'm going to wrap that cord around his throat and choke him out on the
What the
plane.
hell? I mean, he made that. It sounds like this guy was having a psychotic episode on the airplane when the flight attendant went to check on him because he stood up, tried to rip out the oxygen mask. The seatbelt sign was still illuminated because they're climbing out. Flight attendants went to check on him, and he started cursing at them and screaming, and he was yelling, "We're all going to hell! This airplane is going down!" This is a quote from the police report. "We're all going to hell! This airplane is going down!" Yeah. He then grabbed the fellow passenger before running toward the back of the plane. Flight attendants tried to restrain him. He choked one crew member, leaving marks on the victim's neck as the flight attendants and other passengers tried to pin him down. Yeah, he also allegedly left another flight attendant bruised and battered, kicked them roughly 6 times in the leg.
Roughly 6 times. That's pretty specific.
The enraged passenger, who at one point allegedly shouted that he was going to kill everyone, managed to break out of his flex cuffs and had to be restrained with a seatbelt. Yeah, the flight was diverted to Ontario International Airport in California because flight attendants didn't feel it was safe to put him back in his own seat, even in restraints, which apparently he broke out of the flex cuffs. Yeah, he was escorted off the plane by law enforcement. He told cops later on that he had taken ecstasy just before boarding the flight.
Oh, wow. That was a
Yes.
bad trip.
So the public service announcement here is, children, don't do ecstasy before boarding your flight.
I thought ecstasy was supposed to make you very lovey.
That makes you it makes you hallucinate. I mean,
Yeah.
I think different people and the way their brain chemicals work, you can have different reactions to different drugs.
Yeah, I don't think you can predict what's going to happen
Yeah.
if you trip on the X.
Yeah, yeah. Don't roll X when you're getting on an airplane after visiting Disneyland with your 3-year-old daughter. Man, that's insanity. That's why we call it Morons in the News here on the MJ Morning Show at 6:53. 7 o'clock hour starts next. Cash Kitty on the way at 8 o'clock. Your chance to win $1,000 by just texting in a keyword. I'm giving away a Zoji Rushi rice cooker again today. This will be the third one. Heads up on that. Dennis Phillips joins us at 8:30 from ABC Action News, chief meteorologist, on the latest on tropical storm, soon to be Hurricane Helene, which it's going to be well off our coast, but we're going to have major effects because it is a monster. And it is moving fast, though. If there's any saving grace here, it's not going to be a lumbering slug like Debbie was. This one's going to move really fast. Let me tell you about Plan B air conditioning. 7:02 at the MJ Morning Show, and yep, we are watching Tropical Storm Helene, expected to become a hurricane, a Category 1, and then on the way, projected to be a major hurricane. And when you look at the graph, when you look at the National Hurricane Center cone of death graph, you'll see what?
The National Hurricane Center doesn't call it the cone of death.
I call it the cone of death.
Okay, I'm about to say, I mean,
the cone of death. Yeah.
I mean, we're trying not to be alarmists,
we're,
and you're calling it the cone of
dude,
death.
I've always added a little bit of
but-
brevity, you know, and
Yes.
what?
Because in times of hurricane is when we want humor and sarcasm about death.
Yeah, not,
right.
not brevity.
Levity.
Levity.
Thank you, levity. Yeah,
Brevity is if you just keep
Yeah.
it tight.
Yeah, well, I try to do that as well. I'm not always successful. But the bottom line is when you look at the...
Boy, aren't you?
Whenever I go off on something, Fester says, save it for your podcast.
Well, listen, some things are really niche.
I don't have a podcast.
But let's keep the brevity to your levity with this whole cone of death, and I would appreciate that.
All right, so you look at the cone and the National Hurricane Center.
I don't even know what cone it is. What is it? Uncertainty.
Well,
Right?
it's the projected cone. Anyway, so you've got on the chart, you'll see a D. A D means a depression. An S means a tropical storm. H means hurricane. And when you have an H, it's either a Category 1 or 2. When you see an M, that means major, and that's indicating a hurricane of Category 3, 4, or 5 strength. And they're predicting that this will be a Category 3 essentially when it's off of our coast. So at our latitude from maybe Bradenton, Sarasota, and north, they think it's going to turn into a massive Category 3 at that point, and then head straight up toward the Panhandle. And at this point, I mean, it looks like it's going to run right over the FSU campus, is what it looks like.
Yikes. You know what? I have family members who lived through Hurricane Andrew, right, in South Florida.
Mhm.
So traumatized.
That was August of 92.
Right. So
Because I got to Florida just a
I
month
remember.
later.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you remember when I got to Florida in 92?
No, I don't remember personally, but I
Oh.
remember you telling that story.
Oh,
That
okay.
That's
All right.
when you arrived.
I
And they
thought you were. I thought you were greeting me at the sign on where it says "Welcome to
Hi.
Florida." You know, the rest stop right at the Georgia-Florida
Yeah.
line.
I was right
I
there.
thought you were there just welcome.
Pom poms.
Right.
Yeah. Welcome.
You were,
She's
you were an infant back then, right?
Yes, I was a teeny weeny little baby.
Little infant.
So they were actually, I was, you have no idea. So my family was living down there, South Florida. My uncle retired as a homicide detective. As soon as he did, he was like, I'm getting out of here because his roof blew off of his home. He had it wasn't like a.
Hold on, your uncle's roof blew
yes,
off?
they were in
I
the
remember
bathtub.
you told us that he was a Miami homicide detective, and he worked some pretty heavy cases.
Big time.
Yeah.
He was high profile cases, the
Did he
cocaine
do
cowboys.
that? Did he do the Dadeland?
the Dayland shooting?
The whole shooting thing?
Yes, and the Liberty City riots,
Oh, wow.
all that stuff.
He took down Dexter.
Was he there for the Mariel boat lift?
That doesn't sound familiar to me.
All
But
right.
in any case, when he retired, he couldn't wait. He's like, I'm getting out of here because it's not like they lived in a mobile home. They lived in a normal house. Watched his roof blow off his home.
Was he down in Kendall or Homestead?
Yes, exactly.
So he lived
Kendall.
he lived in Kendall.
Yes.
Yeah, because they got really nailed. Again,
Yes.
Andrew was a bitch.
It
So
was.
did he move out of Florida? Did he get the
Listen.
hell out of the state?
No.
Did he move to like Anchorage?
No. He moved to Tallahassee. Yeah.
Well, and
he's
and
been
here
getting-
we are 35 years later.
But they've been getting a lot of them.
The Panhandle
yes,
seems
the
to get more
Panhandle.
hurricanes
So
than
he's in
Miami.
Tallahassee now?
He's been in Tallahassee for years now, and they've been getting him up there. It's like they followed him.
Oh, my. Can we call him? Is he like 100? How old is this uncle?
No, he's not. No, he's in his 70s.
Do you
early
talk to
70s.
him?
Yeah, of course.
What's his name?
Uncle Bruce?
Uncle Bruce?
Uh-huh.
All right.
I'll call him later today and see what his mood is. You know, like it's not
So
fun
his-
for him.
His
It's not.
roof came off
Yeah.
during Andrew in 92 in Miami?
Yes. Yes, the whole family's got 3 kids. They were all in there sheltering in the
and-
bathroom
And
tub.
he lives in Tallahassee now?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
and has
moving
lived
to
there.
the top of the Panhandle. Nothing will get me here.
I'll be impervious.
I mean, Tallahassee seems to get more hurricanes than the
But-
Atlantic coast.
But it didn't used to be that way.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Just give me Bruce's number. I'll call Bruce right now.
we'll call Uncle-
Let me listen. You don't want to mess with Uncle Bruce.
Why don't
Trust me.
I don't want to mess with Uncle Bruce.
He's kind of a badass.
What,
Based on- look at his career.
What, I cold call him and he's going to come on down and beat my ass?
Hey,
what is he
Gonna
going to
arrest
do?
you.
It's MJ. We work with your niece Roxanne. We're not spitting in his
No,
cornflakes
no,
or anything. We're not poking his chest.
No, I just want to call him today. We can call him tomorrow, but I want to call him and I don't want to cold call him and be like, "Hey, what's going
All right.
on?" It's a sensitive topic.
Set up Uncle Brucey
I
for
will.
us.
You want to hear a weird story? All right,
Yes.
so again, we'll give you the right amount of hurricane coverage today. You pretty much know what's going on. Schools are closed
Mostly.
in most of our counties. I guess Polk is open today, but will be closed Thursday and Friday. But most of our counties, and you know if your school's closed, most schools are closed today and Thursday. Some are already closed for Friday. Some counties will make a decision on Friday upcoming. They haven't decided on Friday. But listen, we're in hurricane prep mode, even though this thing is going to be 100+ miles off the Pinellas coast. It's still a whopper, a monster, the size of this thing. And just a quick little timeline for you. It's really going to be a rain event beginning later tonight. Tomorrow, it's going to be just a lot of rain. It's 100% chance of rain on Thursday. The storm surge event is slated for Thursday night into Friday for the storm surge. So tomorrow, a lot of rain. We're going to get wind. We're going to have tropical storm gusts. You can't rule out a hurricane gust along the coast. But this sucker is well offshore, but it's huge. One good thing, it's moving fast. Debbie was a slug. Debbie just was just lumbering.
Debbie sounds like a slow name.
Yeah, like Debbie Downer.
Oh,
and, and Helene is going to move a lot faster. All right, so Dennis Phillips joins us at 8:30. Make sure you're listening at 8:30 this morning. Dennis Phillips, Mr. Suspenders, chief meteorologist from ABC Action News, will graciously give us as much time as we want. And he loves doing the show. He gets tons of feedback. Wherever he goes, like, hey, man, I heard you on the MJ Morning Show. He loves coming on this show, and we highly appreciate his time. All right, this is a weird story. A guy went for a drink after work, then starts speaking a strange language, then drops dead.
Ooh, that sounds like a movie plot.
Well, this is a warning, man. You know when the folks at work say, hey, we're meeting for a drink after work? You might want to take some caution. Might want to say, you know what? I'm going to skip that today.
Yeah.
Well, does this mention what his drink was?
Well, hang on. Let me give you the detail. This is just a weird story. Jacob Jarzecki, 21 years old, young kid, too, 21, went for a drink after finishing work with his colleagues. And, well, they did find out that he had ecstasy in his system. So this is our second ecstasy story. We had the maniac that rolled X and then went on a Frontier airline flight and flipped out. We did that in Morons in the News.
Hey, you know when they arrested Puffy, he had ecstasy on him too. Did you know that?
Well, there was a report. Didn't they find some pink substance
powder, so
in the
Molly?
hotel room?
Yeah.
But have they thought it was suspected ecstasy. I don't know. Did they reveal that it tested positive?
I don't know. Maybe I just read the suspected part of it.
I did see the story in some of the New York media, but that'd be pretty dumb that you go to New York to allegedly turn yourself in and you have a scheduled drug, you have an illegal substance. Why? Why would you do?
Dude, I'm turning myself in. I'm getting high as a kite the night before.
It's pretty dumb. Oh, you're going to shroom it up good?
Yep, I'm going to walk in floating. Take me away, boys.
Yeah, this guy goes for a drink with friends after work, starts speaking some kind of a strange language, and then dies. He had finished working the night shift, and then he goes out with coworkers. That's just weird. But then they found out he had ecstasy in his system. His heart rate went to 150 beats a minute. Just passed out, just dead. I mean, that's weird. But then ecstasy. So was it a combination of the ecstasy and the alcohol? Hey, just a heads up. I am fascinated by this, and in fact, I tried this. I stared into my dog's eyes in a very loving way,
Okay.
but not that loving. I mean, listen, it's okay to it's okay to love your dog.
Yeah.
It's just not okay to love your dog. Where did
I
I
think
hear
we
that?
know that.
I heard that somewhere. Was that a comedy sketch or something?
Yeah.
Where did I hear that? I heard that previously. No, I found this fascinating, and this was one of these study finds, little sort of a synopsis of research, that something amazing happens when humans stare into a dog's eyes.
Really?
Yeah. There's a new bit of research, and it was found that when humans and dogs interact, it literally changes the way a pet's brain works. That when you stare into your dog's eyes, it's doing a lot more than just making you feel good and heartstrings being tugged. Apparently, it syncs up with the dog's brain and yours. It's called interbrain coupling.
Yeah, you do that with babies too.
Really?
Yeah.
So is it called interbrain coupling?
I don't know if that's a term, but you're supposed to when you're like breastfeeding and stuff.
All right. You're also supposed to put classical music speakers on your stomach when they're inside the womb.
Yeah.
Take a little, take a Bluetooth speaker and just put it on your stomach.
Belly buds. I did that. Andrea Bocelli.
You did that?
Yeah.
Oh,
with my older daughter. Second daughter didn't get the
We
same.
totally
treatment.
messed that up with Hadley.
Yeah. Would you guys play AC/DC?
No, we played P. Diddy.
Oh,
Oh no.
You did?
Yeah.
P. Diddy music. Great. Yeah, Hadley's going to be starting those freak-off parties in a couple of years. Yeah.
She thought Freak Off was the coolest name.
No, interbrain coupling, and it's a bond between humans and dogs. The study published in the journal Advanced Science used a cutting-edge technique called a dual EEG to simultaneously measure brain activity in both humans and dogs as they engaged in typical bonding, like petting and then gazing into each other's eyes, they found that certain regions of the human and dog brains actually fell in sync during these interactions. You know, not as much my dogs now, but in previous dogs, like I can look into my dog's eyes. We've got 2 Jack Russell Terriers. They're 6 years old. We have Gatsby, who's our male, our fluffy, the wiry Jack Russell. And then we have a smooth coat, and that's Scout. She's the female. And I can look into their eyes, but I've had dogs in the past that will not look you in the eye.
Well, you know what?
They look away. It's like when
Yes.
you look in their eyes, you make them very, very uncomfortable.
As you're telling the story, I'm thinking to myself, dogs may like that. Dogs may appreciate that, but I'll tell you who doesn't
Some
like
don't.
that one bit.
Well,
Cats. Don't ever try to have a staring contest with a cat.
Oh, yeah, they'll cat scratch your face off.
Yeah.
Yeah, then they'll cat pee on you, and that's the worst.
Oh.
Isn't cat pee the worst smell on the planet? Yeah,
It's one of them.
Yeah, cat pee's pretty bad. No, but seriously, look into your dog's eyes and sync up with them. But also, with some humans, they don't want to look you in the eye. I've worked with some people in this radio business where, man, for $1 million, you can't you can't get them to look you in the eye. It's just weird.
Shifty.
It's like you're looking right at them, and they'll look 45 degrees the other way. Yeah, I've got a couple of people that come to mind specifically that I've worked with and nice people.
Name them.
I'll tell you right now, Shriner the traffic guy.
I've never looked him in the eye.
I've never noticed that. No, but
Out him right now.
At our old radio company, when we used to work, across the street, there was one guy in particular, the nicest guy in the world, but you could not look him in the eye for anything. Would never look. You're like looking right at him, having a conversation, and he's looking toward Mulberry.
Staring off in the corner. Well, still conversing with you, just not looking at you.
7:16 at the MJ Morning Show. We start an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ next. Hey, heads up, the scam hotline's open. The Attorney General's office. The scam hotline, when a
Hotel rooms and gases.
Gas, water, food, you've had those like one-off convenience stores that try to charge $50 for a case of water. Yeah, you can't jack up prices. The state of Florida has opened up the no scam hotline. We'll get into that coming up. We have a lot. In fact, I might even call the no scam hotline and just turn somebody in randomly. No, I'm kidding. All right, hold on.
Turn yourself in.
All right, hang on. We're back in minutes. We start an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ. We have $1,000 on the way with the Cash Kitty, speaking of Cat P, at 8 o'clock this morning. I'll give away another Zoji Rushi rice cooker sometime this morning. Keep listening to call in for that. Dennis Phillips joins us at 8:30 this morning, and we're back in minutes here on the MJ Morning Show. It is 7:25 at the MJ Morning Show. I saw something absolutely ridiculous last night, and it is not hurricane related. Of course, listen, we are in hurricane watch mode. The Tampa Bay area, we are under, obviously, a watch. You've got a warning just north of the Bay Area, just north of Pinellas County. So Pasco, I believe, they fall under a warning. So Pasco North, according to the National Hurricane Center map, we're under a watch. Again, this storm is going to be well offshore, but it is so big, we are going to have some potentially significant effects with a lot of rain tomorrow, but not as much rain as Debbie because it's moving faster. So you don't have as much time for the storm to lumber around and drop as much rain. The big concern from the meteorologists and the National Hurricane Center is surge. And for the immediate Bay Area, there is a storm surge predicted of maybe 5 to 8 feet. I heard some speculate that might be on the higher side, but listen, take precaution. If you are prone to surge, if you're prone to flooding, it's going to be the usual areas, folks. So obviously, take precautions. The big event for us is going to be later tonight into tomorrow, the rain, the wind bands. For most of the Tampa Bay area, we should have tropical storm gusts. That's 39 miles per hour plus. Then Thursday, wind and rain. The surge event is more of a Thursday night into early Friday morning is where the surge concerns are. All right, so heads up. Dennis Phillips joins us in an hour. At 8:30, Dennis Phillips will join us. So, Roxanne, completely non-hurricane related.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw this, but in an emergency, if you want to add some color highlights to your hair,
In an emergency?
Yeah. So
Okay. Yeah. Say like you've got to go somewhere. You've got a big event, and all of a sudden you're like, "Woo! What am I going to do? I've got to do a touch up."
It's kind of like a beauty hack
Okay.
that if you want to add like some highlights, or a toner. If you want to add like toner to your hair, and you don't have like professional products to do it,
Use blood.
you are close.
Really? I was thinking like
No.
yeah.
You're what else is red? This is this is a hack. I'm like, are you serious?
Well, blood comes to my ketchup.
Yes.
All right.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing.
I mean, blood was a good guess. I guess
Thank
you
you.
could use blood.
I mean, it would kind of stink like iron,
One of the best kept bizarre beauty secrets is using ketchup as hair toner. What?
I mean, I guess it dries stiff, right?
If you need to tone down a green hue in your hair and you don't have the appropriate professional coloring products, go to the fridge and grab some Heinz ketchup. Or
Man.
you might be one of those Hunts people, I don't know.
Is this a TikTok thing?
No, it's not. This is
Is it science? It's like
no. This is
verified by the beauty industry. What is it? What's the source?
Anita Rice, who's co-founder of a large salon and well-known salon in London, says that you would never think of this. And they would, she wants it clear that they would never use ketchup at their salon.
Yeah, we would never use it in our salon, but it can be used to reduce khaki or greenish tones in your hair.
So if you're not happy with your hair, and if you think your hair looks a little green, you need to add some red tones, go to the fridge, grab some ketchup.
So that's also effective. It sounds like if you let your kids swim in a chlorinated pool, forget to give them baths afterwards, their hair turns green, grab a bottle of ketchup.
That is the next line. If your hair is bleached or light hair has a green hue after swimming.
Oh, wow. I couldn't see that.
Just put ketchup in your hair.
Even if you're on vacation and you don't have all of your beauty supplies, you can easily find a couple of packets of Heinz.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, you get to smell like a cheeseburger.
I mean,
didn't they used to say mayonnaise was a good like facial product too? Like if you wanted to do a homemade facial, mayonnaise was one of the ingredients.
I don't want you to talk about facial and mayonnaise.
I'm talking about a good burger. I don't know what you're thinking about. I'm thinking about the condiments that make an amazing burger because I'm a no mustard person.
Don't say condom either.
Think about the condoms that make an amazing burger.
Also, according to the Google, mayo is a superior moisturizer for skin and flaky skin.
See, and those are my go-to condiments for a hot dog, a hamburger. No mustard here, no relish. Just give me some ketchup and mayo, and now I can use it in my beauty regimen. Perfect.
Speaking of food, at 7:30. A guy ate 700 eggs in a month.
It seems like
I saw this. I love this story.
What?
It seems like a lot.
I
like eggs.
I do too. In fact, you know what I had for lunch yesterday?
Eggs.
I had a massive pile of egg whites. You want to know why? Why did I have a massive pile of egg whites? Can anyone guess? If you follow me, you might have an idea. Why did I have I still have egg whites.
Would you use the yolks for your ice cream or something?
Bingo, cheesehead.
I didn't know. I didn't watch your video or anything, but
you got it exactly. So over the weekend,
you call me a cheesehead? Okay,
bingo, cheesehead. Just came to mind. I don't know.
Okay, all right, I'm sorry.
So if you follow me on Instagram, and I highly encourage you that you follow me because you never know, from rattlesnakes to all kinds of crap to me. So during the Bucks slaughter on Sunday, I shot a video, and the Broncos were just whipping up. And over the weekend, I made my incredible vanilla bean. I made my Belgian dark chocolate ice cream, and I made my mint chocolate chip. And during the Bucks beatdown by the Broncos, I shot a quick little video, and I even say, hey, while the Bucks are getting their asses handed to them, I'm making my mint chocolate chip ice cream, and I'm drizzling the chocolate. The video's up on my Instagram, Certified MJ Radio, if you want to see it. Now, the mint chocolate chip has no egg yolks. My vanilla bean and the chocolate has egg yolks. In fact, I needed 36 eggs. The vanilla took 15, and the chocolate took 15. The vanilla took 21.
Do you have like a egg yolker, or were you just doing it back and forth with the shells?
No, I have the little spiral device that I pour it in and just
Okay.
sift the white out. So I saved the whites, and I had the whites from 36 eggs. So that's why yesterday for lunch when I got home, I had a gigantic pile of egg whites, which were
36 eggs worth?
no, I didn't eat all of them.
Okay, about to say, it sounds like Cool Hand Luke or something. He's eating egg after egg.
I probably had 10.
Okay.
I would say 10 egg whites is probably what I had yesterday. Anyway, listen to this. This dude says he ate 700 eggs in a month as an experiment to see what would happen. Because he was wondering if I ate that many eggs, would my cholesterol shoot up through the roof? Because egg yolks,
They always tell us that.
egg
Yeah.
yolks have a high amount of cholesterol. Listen, eggs are one of those things where I remember growing up, my uncle is a cardiologist. He just retired like at 76 or 77. But my uncle is a heart doctor, cardiologist. He practiced for years over in Palm Beach County. In fact, he used to be one of the docs when the president would come to Palm Beach County.
Which president?
It was Clinton. It was back in the 90s. So it was Clinton, and then even he was on the list for George W. Bush.
First one.
Yeah, George, the first.
No,
No,
second
no,
one,
the
second
second
one,
one.
second one.
The first one is George H.W.
I'm sorry, all the initials.
The second Bush, George Bush, 2000 to 2008, that's George W. That's W.
Okay.
W.
That's right.
All right. So with Clinton and George W. Bush, when they were in Palm Beach County, my uncle was on, a lot of people don't know this, when a president comes to town, there's a whole litany of procedure and protocol. If
They need a physician.
if they need a physician, they have
Or a
all-
specialist, because they travel with their own physician.
That's the word I was looking for. If they need a specialist for something. Anyway, my uncle was one of the designated doctors for Clinton and George W. Bush when they came to Palm Beach County. And if you remember, back in the 90s, Bill Clinton was at I think it was Greg Norman's house, and Clinton fell down the stairs and twisted his knee. Do you remember that?
Dude, he slipped on the pool deck. He was having. I heard they're having a pool party, and Clinton slipped on the wet pool deck.
No, he was at a puffy. He was at a puffy freak off.
He was at a freak off.
He was at a freak off with. He slipped on the baby oil.
Clinton.
No, seriously.
I heard it happened at the pool of Greg Norman or something.
No, Clinton. I'm telling you, Clinton fell down. He tripped down the stairs at Greg Norman's house, like in Jupiter or something. Look it up. He didn't break leg. It didn't.
The real story
Right.
behind Clinton's 1997 injury at Greg Norman's house.
Exactly. Look at this. It was 1997. We also asked Norman to take us back to March 97 when U.S. President Bill Clinton severely injured his knee while visiting the golfer's house in Florida.
Because they were running and chasing stuff around the pool.
Show more.
I gotta get in. I gotta look it up. It's a link.
I'm telling you, he tripped. At least the story was that he tripped on the stairs, is what the story was. So they called my uncle. It was like 1 o'clock at night. It was late, and they called my uncle, and my uncle, he responded, but also called a good friend of my uncle was an orthopedic surgeon. And my uncle woke up the friend, drove to his house like at 1 a.m. and they met with Clinton. After
Wow.
he twisted his knee. I'm telling you, I think it was he fell down the Greg Norman stairs or something.
Yeah, the stairs leading to the pool. These boys are having a party.
Where the hell? I was on the eggs. How did I get?
Yeah, get back to the eggs.
How did I-
This is interesting.
Oh, because I was talking about my uncle, the cardiologist.
Yeah.
My uncle, I remember when we were kids growing up, like in the late 70s and the 80s, my mom didn't want to give us eggs for breakfast because my uncle had said, no, eggs are terrible. They're bad for your heart. And again, that was the consensus. That was the belief that you don't want to have too many eggs. You want to limit eggs to like 1 or 2 eggs a week. And that's old school.
Yeah, eggs are either vilified or they're either terrible or they're great.
Well,
right? It doesn't feel like there's an in-between.
It used to be they were bad. Now, eggs are a good thing, and you can eat many more eggs than what they originally said that we were allowed to have. So this dude, a Dr. Nick Norwitz, wanted to do an experiment. He wanted to find out whether eggs were bad or good. He ate 720 eggs in 1 month. and he was curious what was going to happen to his cholesterol level. So he took his blood and did a cholesterol
panel,
He-
right.
He did a blood panel for his cholesterol, the LDL, the HDL, the good cholesterol, the bad cholesterol. So he did a blood test before and after. After a month's worth of eating 720 eggs, the yolk, the white, the whole thing, 720 eggs in 1 month. What do you think happened to his cholesterol?
It went down.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You know what's funny? I told you I found out I was quote unquote allergic to eggs X amount of time ago, and so I stopped eating them.
You can't tell me you're keeping that secret?
It's a secret. It's a
About
secret.
2.5 years ago,
It's
Roxanne went and
top
did a
secret.
blood panel.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm allergic to eggs.
No, I did the prick test. This was the prick test. And so that's what they told me. So I stopped eating eggs. Maybe I'll have one once a month. And my cholesterol has gone up. I'm not significantly.
Well, hold on. You
Yeah.
stopped eating eggs and your cholesterol went up.
And I used to eat about an egg a day.
What is your cholesterol?
I have quote unquote good cholesterol per my ratios, but it's still high. But it's because I have those high Is it HDL? That's the good one. Yeah, I have the high HDL.
So is it LDL's the bad one?
LDL is the bad one.
Right.
Triglycerides are not good either.
Right. So, yeah, because when you have your blood, it's HDL, LDL, and the triglycerides.
Yeah.
So I inherently, just genetically, have high cholesterol. Like my grandmother had like a 350 cholesterol.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And she lived to 19. And no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No. She lived to 93.
With high cholesterol.
With high cholesterol.
But
And I think she was on a drug. But I started taking cholesterol medication. I'm on Crestor
Okay.
or rosuvastatin, the generic. I've been on that now for 20 years probably. And my last blood panel, I'm due for a physical, but my last blood panel, my cholesterol was like 137 or something. So the
that's
rosuvastatin,
good.
yeah, I do like 40 milligrams of rosuvastatin once a day on my cholesterol, and my triglycerides.
Yeah.
Everything is really
Everything's
nice and
good.
low. Yeah.
Well, we need some for our brains. Like your brain has cholesterol.
Yeah.
So,
My cholesterol's so
Balance.
bad that the doctor said it's like gravy.
yum.
My LDL's like 190.
Is it chunky gravy or is it a smooth gravy?
Well, it's
Because is it lumpy? Do you have like cornstarch and all?
it's like a chicken.
lumps?
Well, it's a chicken-based gravy.
Gotcha,
And,
all right.
it's pretty thick. He's like, we got to put you on a statin. I go, why? Do I have high cholesterol? And the doctor, he was like, yeah.
All right, so listen to this. But before I move on,
That's what we call it.
this guy ate 24 eggs a day.
Yeah,
so
2 dozen. Yeah,
720 eggs during the month, and his LDL, the bad cholesterol, fell by 18%.
It's crazy. But I believe it based on my own experience.
Yeah, that's crazy.
what do
You know
his meals look like? Down in 24 eggs a day.
And how tired of eggs do you get?
I want to do something. I want to mime something or
Pantomime something?
yeah. But what's
Charades.
yeah sure. What was the
Act it out.
well like Pictionary is when you draw, right?
Right.
Yes,
Pictionary.
yes.
What is it when you
Charades.
is
Yeah,
it
charades.
Is there another name of was there
Maybe there's a board game
is there a
that
game show?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, I'm gonna do something. And if you're watching MJTV, you're gonna be able to see me do this as well. And I want you to guess what I'm doing because there's an update. And what you think might be right might now be wrong, or there might be a better way than this. You ready?
Mhm.
All right. Stand up. Stand up so you can see me.
All right, let's see this whole thing.
You got to look at me, and I'm going to back up a little bit so you can see me on MJTV.
All right, hold on. We're looking.
I'm going to do
Okay.
I'm going to do something to myself. Here, let me tilt the camera down a little bit so people. All right. So here we go. I'm going to do something and tell me exactly what I'm doing.
You're at a freak off.
You're at a freak off.
No.
And P. Diddy's behind you. Oh, and P. Diddy's having his way with you. And now
wow.
you're the
So
center of attention
very
at a freak
freaked
off.
No.
You're choking. Something's in your throat, so you're obviously at a freak off, and it looks like somebody's behind you viciously. Oh my God!
I'm jerking.
Wow.
This is very uncomfortable.
I'm jerking my.
You're jerking. You're
Listen,
definitely at a freak off.
I have my hands.
It's pretty obvious.
I have my hands in my stomach area, and I'm doing a quick jerking upward motion.
Okay, we know what you're doing.
Oh.
It's a Heimlich.
Yes.
A Heimlich at a freak off.
Yeah, that's kinky.
Oh,
Thank you.
you're pouring baby oil all over yourself.
All right.
That is disturbing. All right, so
Let me move the camera back.
You're miming or pantomiming
The
somebody
Heimlich.
choking
Yes.
or a Heimlich maneuver.
I'm out of breath now.
MJ has never been at a freak-off.
I was
that I know of.
I was Heimliching myself. So, yes, I want to discuss the Heimlich maneuver. Guess what?
What?
It is now being said that the Heimlich maneuver is not the best way to save a choking victim, according to an expert.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Now, I do believe the Heimlich maneuver has saved a whole lot of people with meat jammed in their throat.
I mean, there's so many pictures of or in stories or just anecdotally of going to a steak restaurant and some guy's like, "Ugh," and they're choking when they can't speak or make a sound, and a big piece of fillet goes projectile across the restaurant.
Since the Heimlich maneuver was published in 1974, it's been the de facto emergency strategy for choking victims. Well, guess what? Now, an expert is saying that might not be the best way, that actually research has linked the Heimlich to damage to the ribs and heart valves and ruptures in the stomach and food pipe.
Hey,
Well, how
Jackie.
else are you going to get it out?
Yeah, right.
Well,
listen, what it has
that's
to, but the other effect is the lodged food kills you.
Yeah.
A far less invasive maneuver than the Heimlich is slamming somebody in the back directly between the shoulder blades can be just as effective in dislodging
Hey.
the hunk of meat jammed in your throat.
That's what our moms used to do to us,
Yeah.
right? Didn't your mom,
Well,
if you were ever coughing or choking, your mom smacked you on the back?
They're just giving you the. They're giving you the pat.
Okay.
No, you got to really slug somebody. You got to really crack somebody in the back between the shoulder blades. And now research is showing that might be just as effective as the Heimlich without doing potential damage that the Listen, I'm on Fester's boat. If someone's choking, so what
Old
if you
school.
got
Yeah.
a little heart valve issue? I mean, if you don't get the damn thing out of your throat, you're gonna die.
Yeah, send me to the cardiologist next week.
Right.
I'll be fine. Have you seen this device, MJ, that they say you should have like at your house or at your restaurant?
Oh, the suction device.
It's like a face plunger.
Yeah. It's like you. And if you don't have that, you just grab a toilet plunger
They were.
with fecal remnants and put it on someone's mouth.
If I'm choking, I guess I'll take it.
You know what scares me the most about choking is, again, and you've brought this point up, MJ, this is a good one. You're silent. You can't even say, so
Yeah.
people just ignore you. I was having this discussion with my kids the other day, and we have a family sign, if you're choking, because I'm like, you can't talk.
Yeah.
If you're truly choking, you can't make a sound. You can't scream.
If somebody's going, I'm choking.
They're fine.
Help me, I'm choking. If they're talking and coughing and choking, they're not choking.
Just
Yeah.
calm down.
If somebody is as silent as that,
Yeah,
and you can hear
scary.
a pin drop, they're choking. Yeah, if a real choking victim doesn't make a peep, it is like a vacuum. Well, not a vacuum cleaner, but it's like the silence of a vacuum.
They were like a
Yeah.
vacuum sucking down that big piece of unchewed meat.
Yeah, so heads up on that. Listen, if someone's really choking, I get whatever the hell you can do to. And then if you're by yourself, aren't you supposed to ram yourself into like the corner of a
Yeah.
table or something?
Yeah,
Back of a chair.
the countertop or the back of the chair.
Yeah.
I've heard that before too, Rox. You're right.
Yeah, that's like the worst. If you're by yourself and no one's there to assist, that's like a nightmare. That's got to be a really bad way to go.
Eh,
Choking on like a hot dog,
Oh.
all by yourself.
don't worry, you're asleep in a minute.
7:45 at the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. Of course, we are under a hurricane.
Has the 8 o'clock been released yet?
Yeah, I guess we're under a tropical storm warning and essentially a hurricane watch. The 8 o'clock might be out. By the way, they've shifted now to Central Daylight Time. They were putting things out in Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Daylight EDT, Eastern Daylight Time. They've shifted now to Central because of with the position and the fact that it's aiming toward the Panhandle, and of course, and that's going to be Central Time up in the Panhandle.
No, it won't. Like 2 counties.
So the very end, like Tallahassee is Eastern Time.
Yeah.
Where is the where it's
Like the last 3 counties.
Yeah,
or something.
it's like it's the far western Panhandle, but for whatever reason, they shifted. I think because where the position of, you know what it is?
And then it rolls into Georgia, which is Eastern time.
It's where but here's the deal. It's where the position of the storm is now that is Central Daylight Time.
Yeah.
And I would imagine as it moves towards the center of the Gulf, they'll probably shift it back to Eastern Daylight Time, is what I'm guessing. But the 4 a.m. advisory, the 8 a.m. or it'll be a 7 a.m. Or an 8 a.m. Eastern. That's going to be out shortly. And at the last update, it was a tropical storm. And go back.
I'm trying to update it and see if there's anything new.
Go back to where you were. So last check, maximum sustained winds at 4 a.m. Central Time, 5 a.m. Eastern. Sustained winds were 65 miles an hour. It is believed that with the 8 a.m. advisory, the intermediate, it might get bumped up to a Category 1 with winds of 74 plus, and then a 2, and then on late morning, midday, early afternoon on Thursday, when the storm is supposed to be off our coast at our latitude, they're projecting it to be a major hurricane and a Category 3, a little over 100 miles, the center to the west of Pinellas County shoreline.
Ugh, that's awesome.
So, listen, we're going to have rain, we're going to have wind. We're not going to have as much rain as we had with Debbie or even some of the bad thunderstorms that we had, because this storm is going to move fast. The event is going to be a Thursday event primarily. Rain bands and wind will begin later tonight, but then tomorrow is going to be kind of a washout. But you'll get the bands. You'll get it'll stop. It'll start. We're going to have tropical storm wind gusts in the Tampa Bay area. You can't rule out hurricane force gusts, especially along the coast. But the big event, again, is going to be the surge. They're predicting a storm surge of 5 to 8 feet. Might it be less than that? Possibly. So if you're in an area that floods or prone to storm surge, you know where you are, and those areas will most likely be affected. We're going to have Dennis Phillips, ABC Action News chief meteorologist, will join us in 40 minutes. At 8:30, Dennis Phillips joins us live. It's Dennis Phillips live on the MJ Morning Show at 8:30, so 40 minutes from right now. Cash Kitty's on the way with your shot at $1,000 in 10 minutes. We're 10 minutes away from 8 o'clock. Cash Kitty's on the way in just a matter of minutes. We'll give you a keyword, you text it, and then you wait and see if you want $1,000. Simple as that. 8 a.m., 10 a.m., 12 noon, 3 p.m., and 5 p.m. for the Cash Kitty. And I'll also give away one of those Zoji Rushi rice cookers sometime during the show today. One of my favorite appliances on the planet. It's National Rice Month, and the fine folks at Zoji Rushi USA out in California sent me 5 of these rice cookers to give away to people like you listening to the MJ Morning Show. Yes, they are in-house, Andrew. Yeah, the rice cookers are in, and if you win, you can come pick them up the same day.
You can't pick them up today or tomorrow.
Yeah. Not
Don't
tomorrow.
pick 'em up today or tomorrow.
Tomorrow will be closed, and then I think we're closing late. We're closing early today. So hey, the price gouge hotline. Yeah, I think we ought to dial this thing up, just to make you aware that if there's any price gouging, and believe it or not, there are still people that do this, even with the highly publicized news stories of a convenience store or a gas station jamming up the price of fuel a couple of bucks a gallon, or some one-off convenience store selling cases of Zephyr Hills water for $45 or $50. Even when these stories make the news, and then the Attorney General investigates, and they're subject to like a $25,000 fine per instance, you still have places that will price gouge. It seems to be lessening, but if you witness price gouging during a declared state of emergency, and again, we're in a state of emergency, the governor did declare it in, I think I saw, 61 counties? So what is price gouging? It's Florida Statute 501.160 states that during a state of emergency, it is unlawful to rent, sell, lease, offer to rent, sell, or lease essential commodities, dwelling units, or self-storage facilities at an unconscionable price A price is presumed to be unconscionable if there is a gross disparity between the price charged during the state of emergency and the average price during the 30 days before the state of emergency. So it's hotel rooms, it's gas, it's water. And if you suspect somebody is really sticking it to you, if you suspect that you're getting price gouged for essential items during a hurricane event, during a state of emergency, you call the state attorney general's 800 line, or you can file it online. It's 866-9-NO-SCAM. 866-9-NO-SCAM. Let me dial this thing up. 1-866-966-7226. That's 866-9-NO-SCAM.
Who's the Attorney General?
Ashley Moody.
Okay.
She's from Plant City, by the way.
Attorney General Ashley Moody,
Yep.
Citizen Services.
Mm-hmm.
If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911.
Not an emergency.
Our normal business hours are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay.
Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
If you have Internet access, the most efficient way to file a price gouging complaint is to file the complaint online. Visit our website at myfloridalegal.com and click on the red price gouging icon.
Yep.
You may also file a price gouging complaint by using the Florida No Scam app, which can be downloaded by visiting the Google Play or the Apple Store.
There's a no scam app.
If you do not
Do you
have
need
Internet
that?
access and would like to leave a price gouging message regarding gas, please press 1.
Yeah.
To leave a price gouging message regarding water or ice, please press 2. To leave a price
You know what?
gouging message
My
regarding
price gouging complaint is oil. Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
Let me hit one.
We appreciate
Yeah.
hearing from you.
Here we go.
To process your price gouging complaint about gas, our investigators need
Well-
you to clearly state the following information.
Mine is oil.
Your name, phone number with area
Yep.
code, service station name,
Yep.
location of service
Well,
station.
mine is oil
including
related.
city, grade of fuel, and previous and current price.
Okay.
Record your message
All right,
after
here
the
we go.
tone. When you've finished, you can hang up or press 1 for more options.
Yeah, what's up? This is Sean Diddy Combs. I got a baby oil price gouging complaint. I can't go through with that.
Yo, Diddy. I can't find any. It's all too expensive.
I can't do it.
All these places are price gouging the baby oil.
I have an oil complaint. It's a P. Diddy baby oil. I got a lube. They're price gouging on my freak off lube oil. My lube for my freak off parties. All right, I'm sorry if
A hurricane freak-off party is next level.
I apologize to whoever gets that message up in Tallahassee when they open up in.
Apologize to all our government officials right now.
Attorney General Moody probably gets it directly.
All right, but seriously, don't even think of price gouging. I mean, that's just an awful thing to do. You know, hotels, sometimes if people are evacuating, you know, hotels which might have had an average room rate of $129, they jack it up to $479. That's price gouging. And you ought to be run over in the parking lot by a steamroller as far as I'm concerned. That would be my punishment. At 7:55, you are listening to the MJ Morning Show. Dennis Phillips joins us at 8:30. Dennis Phillips live here on the MJ Morning Show coming up in just a bit. Do you know what the new It Girl fashion accessory is?
Well, it's not braces. We've already done that one.
Yep.
Crutches?
Nope.
Oh, are we on the right track?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Is it above the waist or below the waist?
No, it's a garment.
Okay.
So it's a above the waist garment. So a lot of the so-called it girls, the celebrities, apparently there's an influx of them seen wearing this.
Well, the above the waist throws me because I was going to guess leg warmers, unless you wear them on your arms.
Yeah. No.
Leg warmers on
I
the
guess
arm?
The new it girl.
Haley Bieber has been spotted with this. Bella Hadid, who is, what does she do?
She's related to Gigi Hadid.
Yeah,
and
they're
she's
models.
yeah, exactly.
I just saw that Taylor Swift was hanging out with one of these Hadids or whatever. Julia Fox has been spotted wearing this trend. Do you know what it is?
Eye patch.
I like our guesses.
No.
Get a whole look going.
Eye patch. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with
It's
that.
just a whole bunch of gauze wrapped around your head like you have a head wound.
Like, yeah,
no, that's
like
not.
hit with some
that's-
shrapnel or something.
That's not it. No, it's sports jerseys. It's I don't know.
okay.
Did Taylor Swift start this with the Travis Kelce? Wasn't she spotted wearing his Chiefs jersey a couple of times? Anyway, that's like the latest it girl trend is wearing sports jerseys, whether it's NFL, baseball, European soccer jerseys, or football jerseys. Have you been sucked into this trend, Rock? What are you wearing today?
I'm wearing just a nice, classy
She's
shirt.
wearing the.
You might call it nice.
She's wearing the
Oh,
1998.
yeah, you know what? You label snob. You take a look.
I
during the
can't.
break.
I can't even see you. We have no line of sight. I don't even know what you're wearing.
It's just
she's wearing a blouse.
nice,
A
nice-
shirt.
nice-
It's
nice
a silk
blouse.
gray
You
shirt.
called me a label snob.
Yeah, I said.
I'm wearing a Puma workout shirt that I got at Costco for $7.89 or something. I'm a label snob.
Yeah, because
I'm
you're
wearing
always-
I'm wearing a $7 Costco find.
You're a label snob by proxy because you don't wear the labels yourself, except when it comes to watches. But then you always put me on the hot seat and pepper me with label questions, designer
I
questions.
don't know if always is the right word, but occasionally
Frequently.
is. No, Roxanne was going to wear the 1998 Derek Jeter All-Star jersey today, but she passed.
She was gonna wear the Michael Vick,
The dog
Yeah.
kennel.
the dog kennel jersey. Was he number 7?
Number
Michael
7,
Vick?
yeah.
Yeah, number 7. Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
I heard a fascinating Michael Vick interview on Club Shay Shay, the best sports podcast out there.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp's podcast.
Yeah.
All they do is talk about the dog fight in the ring.
Really?
There's a documentary coming out soon.
Oh wow.
Michael Vick has a documentary coming out where he lays it all out and takes all the blame.
What was he thinking? I mean, he was
That's what
making
he asked him.
but he was
Yeah.
making a fortune as an NFL quarterback. And what drew him? I mean,
was his thing.
it destroyed his career.
Yeah.
It's what he knew.
He went to prison.
That's the culture he grew up in. He
Exactly.
didn't know. He said he goes, I couldn't see anything else. But
That's
anyway,
right.
Listen. Roxanne grew up in a cockfighting culture. And,
yeah.
She was.
It's a hard habit to break. I mean,
at 4 years old, she was strapping razor blades onto roosters' feet. So.
Oh, the good old days. I had to give that business up. and
You had that little Jerry Seinfeld, right? Your little
Yep.
yes.
Peter really came after me.
that uncle. Do you know who Pete is coming after?
Hold on, no, I saw this. Hold on a minute. I did see this. Hang on.
You mentioned him on Monday.
Yeah. You know what? I think it's in my pile. Hold on a minute.
Are we still talking about women in sports jerseys? Or can we get
No,
back
no,
to-
no, no,
Is it
that-
sports related?
Yeah, no, I know it is. I think it's in my pile. It's just, I just saw this. PETA is coming after. Hang on a minute. PETA is coming after. All right.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Cocky Jay, the running back for the Kansas City Chiefs,
Right.
Carson Steele, who has the pet alligator.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
We talked about
Yep.
it on Monday. There's photos of him bringing like this alligator with his mouth duct tape.
The Kansas City Chief, this Carson Steele, who is in for Pacheco. Pacheco,
Pacheco,
who's
He's
injured.
Yeah.
This guy rolls in, and apparently he's got a pet alligator. And now what? Yeah, PETA. I did see this. PETA is making a big deal that he shouldn't have a pet alligator. Worst pet ever. Awful person. You shouldn't have a pet alligator.
I mean, Peter's not wrong, but Missouri is one of those states that are so loose on exotic animals. Missouri
Is
and
it?
Indiana. Well, because I started watching Chimp Queen or Chimp Crazy.
Yeah.
What? What's that?
Remember we talked about it a couple weeks ago? It's like a documentary that's
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
like Tiger King, but about
Yeah.
around chimps.
Yeah,
I think it's
yeah.
on HBO or on
Right.
Max. And they were saying how Missouri is so loose on all these exotics.
So you can have like you can have like a wild yak in your backyard or
Some
something.
states really regulate it. Missouri's like, psh,
Hey,
whatever.
speaking of wild, untamed animals, it's time for the feral cat cash kitty.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
How has PETA not come down
Yeah,
on us for
yeah.
having the cash
Yeah,
kitty?
I think PETA ought to shut this place down for the cash kitty. We've enslaved the cat to give away cash.
Yeah.
protest.
To know English words.
All right, let's go. Cash kitty time. This hour's word is promise. This hour's word is promise. That's PROMISE. Text the word promise right now to 45911. This is easy peasy. Text the word promise right now. It takes a second and you could win $1,000. Text the word promise nationwide to 45911 before 8:15. That's quarter after, for a shot at $1,000 cash, or you can enter it on the Q105 app or at myQ105.com. Good luck. Cash Kitty is back. Very excited about that. As we move along, what time is it? 8:02 now. Dennis Phillips joins us in 28 minutes. 28, hey, Channel 28, 28 minutes. Dennis Phillips joins us at 8:30, and I hope his phone's not crackly this morning. It's weird. Like, we called him from our equipment here, and it was all crackly. I spoke to Dennis Phillips like at 2 or 3 p.m., and I just called the same cell phone from my cell phone. It was crystal clear. It was like he was in the same room. It was such a nice connection. It was the best cell phone connection I ever had in my life.
You even commented on it.
Yeah.
This is the best cell phone connection
I've ever had in my life. Hey, if you have been playing white noise or pink noise for your baby, there's a big warning out for that. So if you're a mother, an expectant mother, if you are a grandmother and your daughter is about to give birth or has, and they have a new baby, yeah, there's a white noise. You know what white noise is, right?
Like,
Oh, yeah, of course.
Like sound machine stuff,
Yeah,
static.
give me some white noise, would you please? Yeah, that's very close. All right, so here.
I thought you had it queued up, and I look over and I see Roxanne just blowing into her
Yeah.
microphone.
Oh,
That's it.
that was you?
Yeah,
no, it's
that was me.
Roxanne.
All right, blow again. That's some good blowing right there. Keep blowing.
Is it though? Look at me as I blow, and I've got my teeth out like an underbite.
Listen,
So is it?
I'm here for the adventure. You bet it is.
All right, so white noise. This is actual white noise. Listen to this. That's like we're off the air, which is pretty common around here.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So that's white noise.
Only when they move stuff around.
This is pink noise. So it's a
What's the
little
difference?
It's a little different. It's just the waveform. It's white noise and pink noise. They're very similar.
But there's a bunch of colors. I think
Yeah,
there's one called brown noise.
Yeah, this is brown noise.
Okay.
This happens in the toilet. All right, here you go. Listen.
Brown noise makes you poop your diaper.
All right, that's brown noise. So it's kind of a lower. So that's brown noise. Here's the warning. So it has been suggested that if you play white noise for a baby, for an infant, that it helps them sleep. Well, nope. Now we got a big giant warning. Apparently, it'll turn them into serial killers. No, I'm kidding.
Probably something.
I'm kidding. No, but seriously, here's the deal. The white noise generators or pink noise generators, experts are now warning against using these noises to get children to sleep, whether it's from a white noise generating machine, and you can buy a sound machine that actually just makes the white noise, or using a phone app. The noise, which is like radio or television static, it is very popular, and you've got nearly 38% of parents saying that their children need some kind of background noise to help them sleep. But here's the problem, that experts, including sleep professionals, are saying that if you play the white noise or brown noise or pink noise, that it distracts their young brains, and it could cause developmental issues.
You know, I don't want to say like, oh, yeah, I'm right about everything, but I always had a weird feeling about using. No, seriously, I did.
don't want to say I'm right about everything, but I was right when I said this.
But I always had a weird feeling because I have those machines, and I was like, yeah, something doesn't feel right about these. And so I did them for their naps because there's noise, there's a lawnmower. So their daytime naps, I would do it, but I never felt comfortable doing it at night because maybe it's going to interrupt their little dreams.
Well, experts are now saying that the white noise and similar pink and brown noises may actually harm a child's developmental issues by causing language development problems, that the white noise might actually hinder child language development. Yeah, Dr. April Benash, who's a sleep expert at Rutgers up in New Jersey, said it might even lead to a public health issue. What the?
A lot of people use them because they want to give their baby sound sleep. They're doing it because we think like, oh, this is something that's going to help.
Yeah, Dr. April Benesh.
Do we believe everything that one doctor comes out with?
Her name's even sounds like white noise. Dr. April Benesh. Yeah. She's the director of Rutgers Infancy Studies Lab, has worked with 5,000 families, and said that the monotonous tone of the white noise can interfere with acoustic mapping, the network in the brain that helps babies learn and understand language. So, here's another one of those things that, it's supposed to be good, now it's bad. And,
there's something recently.
Coffee. There's a new thing on coffee that came out yesterday.
Yeah, giving babies coffee while listening to white noise is apparently good for them.
Even 1 cup of coffee can make your eye fall out.
Okay,
I'm kidding.
I read that 3 cups is good for you.
I'm kidding. That's where I'm headed.
Oh, okay.
I'm joking. Your eye's not falling out.
Hey,
no,
you really got defensive.
What you believe?
I did.
You get
have a cup of coffee in my hand right now.
You're about to hit me. All right. No, seriously. There was a story out yesterday that drinking 3 cups of coffee is now linked to preventing multiple diseases. So here's another story about coffee being good for you.
And it's weird that they give it the 3 cups label. Like,
3 cups.
No more, no less.
Do you know the 3 things that 3 cups of coffee might ward off?
ED.
Nope.
Herpes.
Stop it.
Starbucks stock price reducing.
It's diabetes type 2, heart disease, and stroke. Oh, speaking of diseases, how about Brett Favre yesterday?
Oh, that's sad. I saw that.
Yeah.
Parkinson's.
Yeah. Hey, Andrew, did you pull the audio on Brett Favre? Do you have that? Where is it? Where's Brett Favre? Here it is. So Brett Favre, remember he got in trouble. He was embroiled in some kind of...
It was a phone deal.
Financial scandal.
He took money.
Was it university related?
In Mississippi to give a speech or something that was meant for welfare recipients.
Yeah.
I always forget Brett Favre was with us wasn't he a
what?
Or am I dreaming
A
right
Buccaneer?
now? Yeah.
No.
Brett Favre was
the heck
never...
am I talking about?
Brett Favre was Green Bay Packers.
I interviewed him, but that doesn't mean he was a Buccaneer.
Hold on. You thought that Brett Favre was a Buccaneer?
For a second, I could just picture him so clearly at Bucks Camp in Orlando talking to him. But no, that's when he came to play as a Packer.
You can picture Brett Favre coming to Tampa every year as a Green Bay Packer and kicking Tampa Bay's ass. That's
Brett Favre, I think, is only 54 years old.
That's it.
And he was testifying before Congress yesterday, and he kind of just slips in. It was like in a nonchalant, matter-of-fact way. He's testifying before a congressional committee, and he just says that, and I was recently diagnosed with, here's the audio, listen.
I wanted to help my alma mater and benefit the community. Southern Miss introduced me to the nonprofit to see if they could help with the funding. I had no way of knowing that there was anything wrong with how the state funded the project, especially since it was publicly approved by many state agencies and multiple attorneys, including the Attorney General. Sadly, I also lost an investment in a company that I believed was developing a breakthrough concussion drug I thought would help others. And I'm sure you'll understand why it's too late for me, because I've recently been diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Wow. This
is also a cause dear to my heart.
I mean, he just kind of slid it in.
Yeah.
He's just like reading these prepared statements. Why the hell was he? What committee was he testifying before, Fester?
The committee on the shenanigans of Mississippi.
Don't make it up. Just find the story.
I don't know. I have to look.
He just slips in that he was recently diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Now, I think I'd also heard that Brett Favre thinks that he might have been concussed like hundreds of times.
I bet.
There was an old interview
during his career.
Somebody asked him in the interview, he was appearing before the House's Ways and Means Committee hearing on welfare reform.
Okay, that's why he
got embroiled in like public money going to his corporation.
Wasn't there some possibility that he could go to prison a couple of years ago? And
when it first came out, they realized that Favre is behind this company that got money that was supposed to go to...
Didn't he repay like millions of dollars or something?
He did what he could to make it right, but like I said, this company was approved, and I guess it went under, and he got kind of taken for a little bit of money himself. What were we talking about? What else? Damn it, now I have Parkinson's. I don't remember.
Well, I just said he played for the Buccaneers, so I'm most worried about myself.
So
you both have dementia.
Yeah, thanks. No, but he was in front of the Ways and Means Committee.
Yeah, he was testifying for something. Anyway, so the headline is that Brett Favre has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. He didn't say how long ago he was diagnosed.
So
Yes.
he had an interview. This is what that's what I was going. In like 2017, a reporter said, "Brett, how many times do you think you've suffered a concussion?"
That's the same voice you use for your wife.
Well, my wife used to work
Yeah.
in news, so she worked. Hey, but well, how many times have you had a concussion? And he said, documented 3 or 4. Then he paused and he goes, but in reality, I might have had thousands of concussions.
Yeah.
You know, and when you think about it like that, every hit is a potential for a micro concussion that's not even showing a result right away.
Hey, congratulate me. I hit 20,000 followers on Instagram yesterday.
Oh my gosh! I should have brought cupcakes today.
Yeah.
I should have. I
You know
should have
what?
contacted the cake girl and had her made a
Make
big
a-
IG cake with a big emblem of it. Yep. Oh, this is precious.
So proud of you.
I hit 20,000 followers on Instagram. I got a message from Instagram, like with exploding noisemakers and confetti machines. With
Just feeding the machine.
with a big 20K.
You have now reached the lowest level of influencer. 20,000
I'm
followers.
a micro influencer.
Yeah, great. I mean, the microest of micros.
We have a P. Diddy update. So the latest on Diddy. What did you were
I was texting you yesterday because I text you just by yourself because I feel like
you were sending me creepy texts yesterday.
I mean, interpret them as you wish.
I know I interpret
in your
them.
fantasy land. But,
In my yes, fantasy land. So here's the deal. Roxanne, I want you to tell me what creeped you out because you were watching some kind of documentary or news story or.
Oh,
All
yes.
right, so we have a little bit of a Sean Diddy Combs pile here, and there's something crazy. There's something very, very interesting that's developed in the whole Sean Diddy Combs matter, which I'll fill you in just a moment. It's 8:14. We've got Dennis Phillips live. Dennis Phillips, ABC Action News, chief meteorologist, will join us with the latest on. Oh, go to the 8 o'clock. Let me see if it's a hurricane now.
All right.
Go to the 8 o'clock and
refresh it.
Yeah, let me grab this. Let me pick the right product here, and let me refresh. And because the 8 o'clock advisory or the 7 Central is out, it is still Tropical Storm Helene. So I thought that there was a chance that it could be a hurricane by the 7 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Eastern. They still have it at a tropical storm, but from the 2 a.m., it is up 5 miles an hour. So the 2 a.m. advisory, maximum sustained winds were 65. Now maximum sustained winds are 70. What this means is that when the 11 o'clock comes out, when the larger full advisory comes out at 11 a.m., it will be a Category 1. And Dennis Phillips will join us in 15 minutes live here on the MJ Morning Show in just minutes. All right, back to the Diddy pile. So, Roxanne, first, you sent me a text that you were watching some kind of documentary on Diddy, and you learned something new, and you got creeped the hell out?
One of our listeners sent me this 2-hour almost documentary, and it's all about.
How? It sent you a link?
Yes, sent me a YouTube link.
Oh, so you watched it on YouTube?
I watched it on YouTube, and I got dug into it. We both watched it. We took 2 hours out of our day yesterday because we couldn't turn away from it because it was absolutely compelling.
Who produced this thing? Was it like?
I don't even know, but it's by one of the police officers, one of the detectives who investigated the case.
No, but that's important. What
he was interviewed extensively.
Can you send Fester the link so I can?
I'll send it to him, but I just want to tell you that the breaking news.
Hold on. You watched it on your computer, or you watched it on
but hold on a second.
On the computer.
But what I'm saying is, the source is important. So if you have some kind of huge revelation and some shocker that you heard about, I think it's important to know that it's a valid source, that it's a good source. Whoever produced the documentary, I think that's crucial.
Okay, let me find it to send to Fester.
All right.
So you can talk about it while I tell you the gist of it.
All right, so give me the gist.
The gist of it is that Puff Daddy was responsible for Tupac's death. And this has been
Haven't we known that for a while, that there was probably a connection because Biggie got it first?
Yes, but for me, why this was so riveting is because they explained how all the details that led up to it.
Right.
You know, he had supposedly, he had an open kill him notice on him. So
Like a
that,
bounty?
Yeah,
Wait,
a bounty,
you
an
mean
open bounty.
like a hit.
He had an open hit on him.
Open hit on.
So
on
what
Tupac.
that? Yes, and it goes into all the details between the Crips and the
Okay.
Bloods, and how the Bloods were associated with Suge Knight,
Right.
because a lot of people still. Do you want me to tell this theory? Because this
Yes,
is important.
we're listening.
I
Yes,
need some
I'm
serious
listening.
We're
attentive
processing
behavior
this.
right now.
I'm riveted, but I want to know the source of this claim.
Okay.
'Cause listen, the story that Diddy was involved in Tupac Shakur's hit, and I'm not talking about a hit record, I'm talking about his murder, that's been floating around for a while.
It has.
And
it has.
it's resurged with the arrest of Diddy.
It has. So there was a guy, I forget his name. There's so many characters in this. But Orlando was one of the Crips.
Orlando down the hall?
Boy.
What the really?
He's been.
I think his name was Orlando. I can't remember. Like I
Okay.
said, there's so many people. That was when I almost had to like pause and write down names to follow this story.
Okay.
But this guy was one of the Crips. So forgive me if his name isn't Orlando, and that's just erroneous. But a guy who was a Crip.
His name was Apopka.
Who
I'm
was?
sorry, you're way off.
I can't
The
say.
FBI.
Okay, go ahead.
So he was in the Las Vegas casino the night before the Tyson fight, or when Tyson was going to fight whomever.
Mm-hmm.
Tupac he was at his career high point. He's there with Suge Knight, so he was going to go in he did go in. Tyson's playing his song that Tupac wrote for him. There's a fight in the casino between Suge, Tupac, these Crips, right? And so then just impromptu, the Crips decide, oh, wow, Suge and Tupac are in town. We're going to do this tonight. We're going to kill him tonight. So they go after him, and this documentary lays out how the cars were stacked in line and how they were able to pull into the caravan
Right.
and
After
then able
the
to
Tyson fight.
pull after the Tyson fight and able to pull up right next to him and shoot him. And even Tupac, after the Tyson fight, had gone back to his hotel. You know who he was dating at the time, right? Quincy Jones's daughter. Not Rashida Jones, but the other one.
Who was the one in the office?
Rashida Jones,
was Rashida.
not Rashida.
Rashida was in the office.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
okay, gotcha.
the name of the documentary is Last Man Standing.
Yes.
Suge Knight and the Murders of Biggie and Tupac. And it was a filmmaker, Nick Broomfield, who returns to the unsolved murders of Biggie Smalls and Tupac Shakur, and to the figure
Gotcha.
at the center of it all, Suge Knight. So it's a movie documentarian who made this and did all the interviews.
All right.
Have you also heard rumors that Suge Knight was responsible for Tupac? For Tupac's death? Have you ever heard those? Because those are rumors too.
I remember Suge Knight dangled Vanilla Ice over a balcony like 17 floors up in Miami.
Can I say something
Yeah.
as
Yes.
a very average, self-proclaimed honky?
Yeah.
This whole thing confuses the hell out of me.
Well, what
That's
the-
why I had to take notes.
The
Yeah.
East Coast, West
I mean,
Coast,
really,
all
who
that.
killed who with
Yeah.
Biggie and Tupac and this? I mean, I could follow an Italian crime boss hit like
You know
War,
what?
but I
That-
can't. This is
It's thick.
Yeah.
It's very thick. But ultimately, they're saying that Puff was the one who said, like at a party, I'll give you $1 million to kill this guy.
All right. So that's Roxanne's addition to the Diddy pile. Here's more. There is a video that's circulating, and it's not what it seems. You got to be so careful when you're looking at your video feeds on, Tick Schmuck, which you should avoid, Instagram Reels, and the stuff that gets floated around. And someone will take a video and they'll try to revise the timeline and say, oh, look at this video. It shows this when it doesn't. It's something completely else that's being shown. But there's a video circulating where Sean Combs appears to be patting down Justin Bieber and checking him for a wire. After the federal raids on his Miami house and his Beverly Hills house, there's video that people are circulating. Oh, look, here's Diddy with Justin Bieber, and he's patting him down after the raids to see if he's wearing a wire.
But was it after the raids?
No,
it wasn't after the raids.
That's the problem
I
here.
never interpreted it as after the raids.
but that's what they're saying now.
The video is from 2019 or
you
something.
can tell that. Justin
Yeah.
looks young. He's been sick since, and he looks different now. You
Yeah.
can tell it's an older video.
Yeah, the video in question is from 2019 or something. It's years earlier, and it is not Diddy patting Justin Bieber down to see if he's wearing a wire. Oh, check this out. Man, this was kind of an interesting little shocker yesterday. Guess who Diddy is sharing a cell with?
Sharing a cell with?
You're
Yes.
gonna love this,
Oh,
Pastor. You don't know? You don't.
dude,
You gotta guess. You gotta guess.
Oh, you don't know what this is?
Okay, so
The news came out yesterday that Sean Diddy Combs in the federal lockup, the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn.
he doesn't have his own cell?
Nope, he's sharing a cell with.
Let's play 20 questions.
Okay. It's obvious it's a male.
It's a male. Yes,
Okay.
there's one.
Was he arrested for financial crime?
Yes.
Yes.
Sam Bankman-Fried?
Good job.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, the FTX guy. Diddy is with the crazy-haired savant.
The two of them are in the same room?
Yes, they're in the same cell in Brooklyn. That's
Sam's like-
his roommate.
Yeah, it seems like you bring the baby oil, I'll bring beaver teeth.
Listen.
His cellmate. Oh, and speaking of beaver teeth, you heard about her.
No.
She was sentenced yesterday.
Oh, I didn't even know
Oh,
that.
yeah. So hang on, I'll get to that in a second. Listen to this. Sean Combs.
All right, Beaver Teeth is the girlfriend, by
Yeah,
the way.
that, yeah.
Yes.
Hold on.
People don't know.
I'll get to Sam Bankman-Fried's girlfriend with the beaver teeth, who she can chew through wood, man. Unbelievable. She makes dams in her spare time in little brooks,
right.
in little streams. She builds little dams.
So she got sentenced.
Anyway, oh yeah, hang on. I'll get to that in a minute. So Sean Combs, the rapper known as Diddy, and Bankman-Fried are bunking in the same dormitory of a Brooklyn jail, said a person familiar with the situation who spoke on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to talk publicly. Combs has been held at the Metropolitan Detention Center for almost a week after being denied bail on federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges. Bankman-Fried has been in prison at the same jail since last year. He's serving a 25-year sentence for fraud after stealing $8 billion from customers of his FTX crypto exchange, which, of course, that's got a whole bunch of celebrities getting sued. You've got Gisele Bundchen, you've got Tom Brady, you've got
Shaquille O'Neal, the guy from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, yeah, Larry David. You know, we played, hang on, I think I've got that FTX audio bite here somewhere.
How amazing is it that Sean Combs has not done business with Sam Bankman-Fried in the past?
Yeah.
Like I was saying, it's FTX. It's a safe and easy way to get into crypto.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I'm never wrong about this stuff.
I mean,
Never.
Yeah, you should have stuck with that and not...
Larry David should have got let go. I mean, he kind of called it. He was the only honest one.
Yeah, so how about that? Sean Bankman-Fried is with Diddy. I wonder if Diddy's saying, hey, man, you should have come to one of my freak-offs. Yeah.
I mean, didn't Sean Bankman-Fried like to have some crazy parties too? What did all those nerds do? Like Adderall and stay up all night? I mean, I feel like they had some parties too.
Adderall and staying up all night at USF. I mean, come on.
A couple other Diddy things. Ashton Kutcher now is being grilled over Diddy's parties in a resurfaced interview.
A lot of guys were good friends with this guy.
Yeah, TMZ.
Professionally.
Ashton Kutcher's friendship with Diddy is raising eyebrows after an old clip resurfaced where the actor expertly dodged questions about attending one of his notorious parties. Hey, did you pull audio on this, Andrew? Yeah, do me a favor. Go to TMZ. See if there's audio. We're so preoccupied with the hurricane and everything. Dennis Phillips is 5 minutes away. Dennis Phillips live on the MJ Morning Show, 5 minutes away. We'll talk to Dennis.
Has he ever been to one of P. Diddy's freak-offs?
Who?
Dennis?
Oh, cut the
I don't
crap.
know.
Please stop it.
All right, everybody.
Why would you even say that?
Because we're a
What's
comedy
the matter?
morning.
What's the matter with you?
Because we're a comedy morning show.
Come on.
Because we make jokes.
Some things you say,
That's
some
what.
things you don't.
Oh, because we don't make jokes about meteorologists.
All right. So
Steve Jervy was that one.
he was
It was
not.
another joke.
We stop.
We not make jokes around here.
All right. The actor was asked by host Sean Evans back in 2019 if he had any wild stories from Sean Diddy Combs' parties. And he replied, I've got a lot I can't tell. Oh, well.
Okay, it's one of those innocuous, funny statements.
All right, hold on. Andrew's got the clip. Andrew, you ready? All right, roll the audio. Let's listen to this.
Diddy party stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote, if you have one, yeah.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them.
Okay. That means nothing.
Yeah, from TMZ.
Look, if somebody says, tell me your craziest MJ story, my answer is going to be something like, oh boy, I have a lot, most of which I can't tell.
It's usually why you buy time. You say
can't
that.
tell that one either. He doesn't want to.
Nothing's going to land you in a federal lockup or me in detention.
But so many people knew Diddy, and such a small fraction of those people were involved in the freakouts or freak-offs. Which one are they? Freak-offs?
Freak-offs.
Freak-offs. You know, listen, if I went to a Diddy party, I'd say, oh, man, I got a crazy, wild Diddy story. But it would pale in comparison to other people's stories.
I'm not going to go into full detail here, but another woman is claiming that Sean Diddy Combs and his head of security bound and violently did stuff and drugged her. So you got another lawsuit that's rolled out. Also, details coming out about Sean Diddy Combs' jailhouse phone call to his kids after the arrest. Hey, if you're on the phone in detention or lockup, they're listening to you.
Has it been released? Do they release the calls in the Fed level?
No, I don't think that details can leak out, I guess. Sean Diddy Combs has reportedly been in contact with his kids from jail following his arrest. He's spoken briefly to family members and his children via phone. Sources with knowledge say the insider added that the father of 7 is very concerned about his kids' well-being. He's been able to speak briefly to family members, and you got to be careful what you say because that can be used against you. Second source close to the family claimed that Combs' children are in an absolute state of shock and crisis with the accusations. So there you go.
Something I want to say about what I sent you yesterday, one of the text messages I sent you, MJ.
What is it?
It was a little composite montage, I should say, of cartoons and movie clips over the years that have referenced parties with Diddy. And I feel like a lot of people in Hollywood knew about it, and it's that nod where the script writers sneak things in that are truth about the industry.
Gotcha. Hey, we've said this multiple times. There are a lot of people that suddenly have clamped their mouths shut with super glue and a vice like they're in a wood shop that are just like, oh my God, they're trying to just kind of blend into the curtains and oh man, I hope no one remembers this or this. Hope no one asks me about that. Hey, let's give away the rice cooker here quickly, and then we'll call Dennis. And then I have, before Dennis, the quick little update on Sam Bankman-Fried's girlfriend from the whole FTX thing with his and there's big concern. There's huge concern. So let's go with caller 21. I'm gonna do it quick and fast here so I can grab the winner on the air. Folks, this is one of my favorite appliances ever in the history of humanity. My Zojirushi rice cooker. In fact, later today, I've got some great Japanese-grown Niigata Koshihikari short grain rice. I'm going to put it in my Zojirushi rice cooker, and there's just no better pleasure in culinary life than a great bowl of sticky rice. And these Zojirushis are phenomenal. It's National Rice Month. They know how much I love their machines. They sent me 5 of them to give away. It's like Oprah's favorite things. It's MJ's favorite things. You want a rice cooker? Zojirushi rice cooker, 21 right now. Caller 21, 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. All right, quickly, before I call Dennis, one of the big top FTX execs, the girlfriend of Sam Bankman-Fried, she's that real looker.
Caroline Ellison?
Yeah, that's her. Yeah, the beauty queen. She's been sentenced to 2 years in prison. I mentioned this to Michelle last night, and she was like, that's it? 2 years? That's it? That's all? 2 years? Anyway, there is concern, though, that a cell can't hold her. They're very concerned that she's going to use those big beaver teeth to chew through the bars. So they don't know if they can hold her.
I mean, unless you put her in a wooden cage. I mean, if it's a steel and brick cage, you might be all right for 2 years.
Wooden cage, she will gnaw right through that. Prison break right before your eyes.
She will build a dam that the officers cannot penetrate.
To swim across.
Man,
yep.
She's got these beaver teeth that looks like she can chew through wood. I'm telling you right now, she can make trees fall in a forest.
Okay.
All right.
Dumb question.
Yeah.
How does she not have like $50 million stashed away?
Who the hell knows? Listen,
give me my 2 years and then never see me again.
Does. Let me grab caller 21, then we'll call Dennis. MJ Morning Show. Who's this?
This is Kelly.
Kelly, it's MJ, Roxanne, and Fester. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're caller 21.
So that means I get your rice cooker?
You got my rice cooker. Yes, you win the Zojirushi.
Woo! Yeah!
You've heard me talk about this thing for a long time. And,
Yes.
And now you're going to get your very own Zojirushi rice cooker. Yeah.
Yo,
MJ.
Yep.
Let's kick it. Rice, baby.
Yeah. All right,
I was
congrats.
just talking to my partner last night. I said, man, we cook so much rice. Why don't we get a rice cooker?
All right, listen, you're going to love this. Again, one of my favorite things on the planet. I'm the only morning show in America giving away rice cookers this week because they're fantastic. I love them, and I like to share the finer things in life that I love with my listeners. And you're the latest winner. Kelly, congratulations. Where are you calling from?
Thank you. I'm calling from Clearwater.
All right, congratulations. Andrew's going to pick up the line and give you all the information you need, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let me get Dennis Phillips on the line. 8:32 at the MJ Morning Show. Time for a little DPL. Dennis Phillips live. DENIS. I got to go to my address book. All right, let me pick up the phone. 7272. All right, calling up Dennis Phillips live right now. We're set for 8:30.
What's up?
DPL, Dennis Phillips live on the MJ Morning Show. Hey, Dennis, good morning.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
We're going well here. And listen, people love to hear from you. You offer comfort, knowledge, information. Your suspenders are mesmerizing.
Hey, I got a question for you. I want your guys' advice on this.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
I love giving advice.
So tonight at 7 o'clock, I'm going to be doing a DPL, and it's actually going to be on broadcast on our channel as well as streaming. You know, normally it's just streaming and my Facebook page and whatnot, but it's going to be an hour-long DPL where it's actually on broadcast television. My question, do you think I can still wear my hoodie if it's on broadcast TV like I always do on DPL, or do I need to wear the suspenders?
You know, this is really a good question. So let me paint the picture for the audience. When you see Dennis Phillips on TV, he is wearing his nice dress shirt tucked into nice slacks. He has a nice tie on, and of course, he has the signature suspenders on each side of the tie. What Dennis is asking is he changes his garb up. When he does DPL, Dennis Phillips Live, which is on YouTube streaming, on Facebook streaming, on that, he's not wearing the dress clothes. He puts on one of his Dennis Phillips Live, rule number 7 hoodies. So he's very casual. So your question is, if you're going to be doing a DPL that's actually going to be covered and carried live on Channel 28 tonight, can you go to the DPL usual garb, or do you have to do the dress garb?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, do I have a Diet Dr. Pepper sitting next to me like I always do? I don't know. I'm
okay.
kind of torn on this.
Dennis.
Yeah, what, Fester?
Dennis, my instant reaction is you got to be true to what DPL is.
Yeah, you know what? I'm leaning that way as well.
If DPL is you and a Dr. Pepper and a hoodie, if that's the broadcast, if that's the show, it doesn't matter what platform it ever airs on.
Yeah.
You stay true to what that show is. Now, the 11 o'clock news.
I agree with you.
The 11 o'clock news is the 11 o'clock news. You're always in your suit. You're always in your
No, it's not a suit. He doesn't wear a jacket. It's not a suit. He's wearing a nice shirt.
You're always in your little getup.
Yeah.
You're always wearing your suspenders. You're wearing your tie. You know,
Yeah.
But if you're going to do DPL in whatever form it's being broadcasted in, you got to be true to it.
Hey, Dennis,
I'm gonna disagree.
does your news director have any say in the matter?
I've not heard yet. I'm sure I will
All right.
at some point.
But Dennis, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Roxanne.
Yeah, I'm going to give you the other side. I think you need to do suspenders because I feel like your news audience, that's their comfort level. I'm a huge DPL hoodie fan. I really am. But I feel like when you go to the other medium and you include that, then it might like distract from the message or something. I don't know. I feel like you need to go with your suspenders and your traditional. Just giving you the other side.
No, keep your art true.
I mean, we'll see. We'll all know. We'll find out.
I'm with Fester. I think you do. It's DPL that you're, because DPL is the the vehicle, and they're carrying DPL on regular broadcast channel 28.
Okay.
So I think you got to be DPL.
How about suspenders over the hoodie?
That's what I was thinking.
Make everybody happy.
All right, so Dennis, where are we? I was expecting that maybe with the 8 a.m. or 7 Central Time intermediate forecast, they might jam it to Hurricane Helene. However, it's still just shy. It's still a tropical storm.
Yeah, bumped up to 70 though, so I mean it's right there, and I'm sure at 11 o'clock it'll be a hurricane. MJ knows he usually watches the 11 o'clock news. It was a really kind of an interesting setup last night. So every TV station, well, the majority of the TV stations, put it that way, use the modeling data through a company called the Weather Company. It used to be called WSI. And they kind of got taken over, whatever, by IBM years ago. And IBM started creating its own models. And one of those models is called the graph model, GRAF. And it's some places call it their network model. Some places call it their in-house model. It's all the same model. It's just spin, right? And last night at 11 o'clock, just before 11, we got an update on that model. And I'll be honest, it's updated every hour, so you don't really look at every single update because it's usually about the same. And all of a sudden, I looked, and it was bringing winds of like 131 miles an hour to Cedar Key, which is just one county up from Citrus County, Levy County.
Yes,
right?
Levy,
it's
yep.
just,
yep.
west of Gainesville, right? And I'm like, whoa, what in the world? And in doing so, it increased the winds dramatically in our northern counties, in Citrus and Hernando.
Right.
And I'm looking at it, I'm like, what in the world is going on? And, I looked at it, and it was bringing landfall. It was bringing the eye of this thing right into Cedar Key.
Yeah.
Which is massively farther east than what the NHC had at 11 and what the majority of the models also had. And yet there were some people posting that run, and I don't know. I look at things a little bit differently, and everybody has their own opinion. To me, what's the point of posting a model run that you don't believe in? I get it. There's some people say, look, I want to give everything I can and then let people decide what they want to look at and what they want to know, everything that's going on. For me personally, when a storm is 24 hours out, 36 hours out, you start seeing a model run like that, all of a sudden you're confused as to which one you should show. It's a really interesting debate, and there's a lot of people out there that show everything, and that's on them.
Do we know why this model run, and was it an outlier, and was it erroneous? What do we know about that run?
I have no idea it's why it did what it did. I mean, look, I think we all kind of know storms can always move more to the east.
Listen, Dennis, I am not comfortable until that damn thing passes our latitude. That's
100%.
I'm still weary right now because we saw Charlie coming right at us in 2004 and it turned into Charlotte Harbor. I mean, crap can happen. The modeling, the computer power has gotten much greater in the last 20 years. Their tracking is pretty accurate these days, but still, I'm sitting here right now. I'm still a little weary.
Yeah, I agree 100%. But I also say the other argument is if you believe that the other forecast is right, if your forecast is whatever it is, why would you then show, other than just to cover your butt, I don't know, why would you show something that is blatantly, extremely different from what everything else is? And I have issues with it a little bit, but yet the other side of it is, look, we want to show you everything there is possible, and then you guys decide what you want to believe in. But I don't know. Is that their job to come up with their own conclusion, or is it their job to the best case scenario at that point? I don't know. It's an interesting conversation. But anyway, when I saw that, I'm like, whoa!
Yeah.
Literally, it was like 5 minutes of 11 that came out.
Wow.
And I ended up not going with it, wondering if the NHC at 5 a.m. was going to start bumping their forecast a little bit more to the right.
But actually, hasn't some of the model runs moved a little more west?
Yes. Correct. That's my point.
Yep.
Yeah, they moved even a little more the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So an erroneous run, whatever you want to call it, it certainly appears, at least right now.
See, but this is where your expertise comes in, and you've been doing this for, 40-plus years, that you can sort of detect something that doesn't smell right.
Yeah. Exactly, and that's what I would hope that most people would do. So it's the end result is, but you're right. Until it passes our latitude, you never know for sure. It's Florida, but to answer your original question, yeah, the track is still. And I'll tell you something else. This has been now 2.5 days. How many of us have looked over the years? And I'd be willing to bet every single one of us raises our hand. How many of us have looked at a forecast track in 4 or 5 days and said, well, if it's forecast to be there in 5 days, we know it's not going to be because it's never where it's supposed to be in 5 days.
Yep.
It always moves. I mean, that's just the mindset. This track has not budged for like 2.5 days.
Why is that? Why is it that we always see shifts and fluctuations this far out? Why is it that this one, the model's locked into? And even you'll see some of these, for instance, I found this model, which I love. It's this Oklahoma University model, and it has it seems like 200 different, it's the most spaghetti strands I've ever seen. And they're all tightly compacted, and they have been for days. What is it about this storm that it's so predictable that far out on where they think the track is? Why is this different?
Well, yeah, the model thing is predictable. Hopefully, we believe it. I mean, if you live in the Panhandle, you're hoping it goes somewhere else. If you live in our area, boy, that's always a tough thing. You go out there and you're like, oh, okay, we feel better that it's going to miss us. But if it's in the Gulf of Mexico, if it misses us, it's going to hit somebody else.
Yep.
So
it's got to exit somewhere. All right, Dennis, let's timeline this. From right now, let's talk about as it rolls through the middle of the Gulf, as it continues on its projected path, because right now it looks like it's going to roll right over FSU.
Yeah. To answer your question quickly, big area of high pressure off to the east, big area of low pressure trough digging in from the west. It's just doing what we expected, exactly what it's supposed to do. And we all know in weather, that doesn't always happen. I mean, you can even say maybe that doesn't usually happen. Has the technology improved? Yes. Has the computer modeling improved? Yes. Is it right more often than not? Yes, although people don't believe that. But, at the end of the day is what's happening is it's just the players in the game are doing exactly as forecast, and so that's why the models are showing it as is. In terms of the timing,
yeah, when does it get bad? Are we looking at rain and wind beginning later tonight?
Okay, yes, it's going to start being breezy and a little gusty tonight, but a couple of things. If you live east of I-75, yes, this is a large storm. It absolutely is in terms of size. Right now, tropical storm force winds extend 175 miles out from that center. All right, so do the math. If it's going to probably get bigger, but let's say it goes as much as 225 miles. All right, if the center of that storm is 100 to 125 miles west of our coastline, then that means, obviously, do the math. Those tropical storm force winds extend 100 miles inland. So most of the state will see tropical storm force winds, but it's obvious the outer part of that storm is going to give you weaker winds than stuff closer to the center. It's obvious. So if you live east of I-75, you are not going to have the impacts that you're going to have on the coast, not even close. And most of the wind, the hurricane force winds, it's not a hurricane yet, but my gut tells me usually with this kind of a storm, you'll see hurricane force winds extend maybe 80 to 100 miles out from the center. But the worst of the winds, we're talking the extreme winds. When you get those numbers that come in, maximum sustained winds are whatever they are. Usually those winds are only in about a 5 or 10 mile area from that center, sometimes as much as 20, but only 5 or 10 is where most of the eyewall winds are. And that's not going to be based on the current track anywhere near the Bay Area. So, and honestly, it's usually only about 5 to 10 miles from landfall.
But the entire Bay Area and really almost the entire Florida Peninsula is in like the yellow mapping, which gives us the tropical storm force winds of 39 plus. And we will feel that most likely here.
We will. We absolutely will. And the timing of that mostly is in the afternoon and the evening. Now,
that is tomorrow. So Thursday afternoon and evening, correct?
Yeah, the Hurricane Center is saying the most likely time of wind arrival of tropical storm force winds are between tropical storm, which is 40 plus, is 8 a.m. in our southern counties, 8 p.m. in northern Florida, and then somewhere in between as you go south to north. So probably Sarasota County, 8 a.m., Tampa, 10 a.m., Hernando County, noon in terms of maximum sustained winds of 40 miles an hour or greater. That's kind of what we're thinking. But the worst of the wind, and again, this is not a slow mover like Debbie. This thing's going to fly. It's going to move. In 12 hours, it's going to move from South Florida all the way into Georgia. So the good thing
is this thing hauling at like, what, 25, 30 miles an hour?
It will be.
Yeah.
It will be by tomorrow. And that means that's good news in terms of a rainmaker. It is not going to be a massive rainmaker because it's not going to have time to dump the kind of rain that Debbie did. The reason Debbie brought us so much rain is because you had bands sit over a certain area for like 20 hours, right? This one is not going to be anything close to that. It's going to be a totally different system, much faster. So I would expect some significant power outages tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, and then it's out of here by 11 o'clock at night in terms of the wind. So the worst of it is probably 2 to 3 p.m. until 9 p.m. for our area. For the Panhandle, obviously the worst of it would be more late afternoon, early evening. Landfall is pushed back a little bit. Originally, landfall, they were going around 7 or 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Now the landfall is closer to 11 o'clock tomorrow night.
Gotcha. All right, let's talk surge, because one of the big concerns is surge, and that's going to be even a later event, most likely?
Yeah, that's, well, it also, it questions whether it coincides with high tide or not. But the slash model numbers that are coming in, which is just a model specifically designed for surge prediction, is more between 9 p.m. and 1 a.m. Thursday. Now, there might be some water push earlier, but remember, you talked about when a storm passes latitudinally our area. That's exactly the same when those winds turn around. We get more of an onshore flow once the storm has passed.
So to simplify, it's pushing the water from the Gulf to our shores.
Yep, and with a counterclockwise flow, that doesn't happen until the storm has passed us. So once the storm passes where you are, that's when the winds gradually turn onshore, and that's when it starts to push the water in. It makes a lot of sense if you think about a counterclockwise spin. And once it passes us, the winds turn around out of the southwest, and then they build, and then that pushes in from the Gulf. And one other thing that is so important. So, we all say if you hide from the wind, you run from the water. If you had flooding with Adalia, if you had flooding with Ada, you're going to have flooding with this one. When you look at those numbers, right, those numbers that the Hurricane Center put out, they're not just arbitrary numbers. I mean, those numbers that everybody shows them, they are officially numbers from the Hurricane Center with what their peak surge is forecast. What those numbers mean, by definition, they are the worst, they are the most reasonable worst case scenario. Those are words that mean a lot. Those numbers that you see, 5 to 8 in the Bay, up, higher up to the north, those are the most reasonable worst case scenario. Now, my experience has shown me that over the years, the worst case scenario, the number on the right, is one that we don't often see. We do occasionally, but we don't often see it. But they're given those because they want people to know, look, this is as bad as it could be. You have to decide if you want to evacuate based on how bad the worst case scenario would be.
So what is your guess? So let's say Gulf Beaches, Pinellas County, south to Manatee, Sarasota, north toward Pasco and Citrus and Hernando counties, and then also the exposure of Tampa Bay along Pinellas inside of Tampa Bay, Hillsborough County, South Tampa. What do you think? What do you think we're actually going to see? Your best guess, doing this for years and years, what kind of surge do you think we'll see?
Well, when their forecast is 5 to 8, and they say the worst case scenario is 8, usually the way it plays out is we get closer. There's a couple of spots, maybe isolated spots, that we'll see up to 8, but the majority would see the 5 to 6.
Okay.
That's usually the way it plays. But I want your listeners to hear this really clearly. If you live in an area where you're concerned about surge and an 8-foot surge would inundate where you live or possibly cause damage to your home or yourself, you want to get out of there. I mean, you can't mess with water. You just can't. I mean, there's nothing you can hide in the closet. You can hide from the wind. You aren't hiding from the water. So the answer to your question is, typically, and the way I'm forecasting is for the overwhelming majority of the area, I usually use the bottom number plus 1.5 feet as the average number that they're going to get. But every now and again, there's going to be a few spots that are going to be closer to that higher end. And of course, those are the ones that we have to concern ourselves most with, because if it's you don't want you don't want to hear us say, hey, we're on the low end. Well, we got to the high end. So everybody's got it. Look, we're all adults. You try to hold people by the hand as much as they can to get them through a storm. But at some point, you got to take accountability for your actions and what you're doing.
Exactly. Listen, if you've been here for a while, you know the areas that are prone to flooding, the areas that are prone to surge. If you are new to the area, ask questions, look and see what other people are doing, and then and pay attention to emergency management in your city, your county. Go to their websites, watch television, listen to radio, and you'll get the information. Now, something on a personal note, Dennis, and you broke this really on our show yesterday morning. You were on with us at 7:30 yesterday, and a little personal insight. Dennis revealed, I think for the first time in any broadcast medium, that you told your son to leave FSU in Tallahassee and come back to Palm Harbor.
Yeah, and he came home last night. I did. If this track is right, Tallahassee's going to get crushed. They just are. And, if you have kids that live in dorms, those dorms aren't going anywhere. Those dorms are solid. I mean, they might lose power. I don't know how the power grid works on the universities. Same with FAMU. The dorms they are big brick buildings, and it's, like the big bad wolf. You ain't going to blow down that big brick building. It's just not going to happen. So they're going to be okay. But we talked about this yesterday, with apartment complexes. You don't know how they're built. And there are certainly some apartment complexes, I think, that are built better than others. So I was.
Well, just look at Dennis, look at the construction around town. When you drive around, you'll see some houses and buildings made out of block, and you'll see some like 3- and 4-story apartment complexes that are made completely out of wood, plywood and 2x4s, and clearly those are not going to be built anywhere near as well as, a block structure.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't worth taking a chance. And I wasn't going to go on and, we talked about this too. I wasn't going to go on and tell people, I'm telling you to bring your kids home or to move your kids, because God forbid, what if they had a traffic accident and something happened to them on the way leaving? I mean, those things enter my mind when I talk, even reference evacuations. So I can't do that, but I can say what the weather's going to be like in those areas. And I didn't want my son with 120 mile an hour winds, because I think absolutely legitimately Tallahassee would get 120 mile an hour winds if this storm follows that track that's forecast. That's unlike anything that they've seen. They have never seen that.
Speaking of Florida State University and your son coming home, and I'm glad he arrived safely. Rick is our operations manager here. His son is a freshman, just moved into his dorm at FSU back in August. And Rick heard you say that your son's coming home. Rick's son's also our operations manager here. His son also drove home as well.
Well, look, I think the dorms are okay. I do. But I just, not only that, even if the integrity of the building is okay, there's going to be trees down everywhere. There's going to be power outages everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you just don't want to be in that. Yeah. I mean, again, based on the current track, I'm hopeful that maybe it goes a little bit more right where it's more rural, because, over by Steinhatchee and areas similar, west of Perry, because Perry got hit so hard last year with the Dahlia. There are some areas in that vicinity that are pretty rural, and there's not a lot on the coast, and there's not a lot inland. So, maybe we get a track that's a little bit more to the right and it has less of an impact on people. But if this track is right, MJ, Tallahassee is going to get crushed. And it is going to be unlike anything that they have ever seen, that we have record of.
Yeah, there was a video that I saw. They had a bad thunderstorm, and some 100-year-old grand oak fell near one of the state buildings a couple of weeks ago. So you got tons of these live oaks, these grand old oaks up there
with really shallow roots.
Yeah. So, Dennis, listen, it's always great to have you on. I appreciate the time that you give us and our listeners here on the MJ Morning Show on 104.7 FM, Q105. So, Dennis Phillips live will be, usually it's just streaming after the 6 o'clock news. Dennis comes on, what is it, 7 to 8 typically, Dennis?
Yeah, well, typically we have a newscast from 7 to 7:30 that I do, and then DPL goes 7:30 until like 8:15, 8:30, whatever.
Exactly.
But we're going to preempt the newscast today, and we're just going to have an hour-long DPL, and it's designed the same exact format where I'm going to be answering questions. I'm just going to be kind of going over my thoughts and that same exact format. So,
all right, Dennis,
we'll see what I decide to.
Thank you. You got a busy 36 hours here. And we'll talk to you tomorrow morning on the MJ Morning Show.
All right, sounds good. See you guys. Be safe.
I'll see you later tonight on the special DPL at 7 p.m. on Channel 28. Thank you, Dennis.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
All right, here we go. Dennis Phillips, Chief Meteorologist, ABC Action News. Always informative. We know the timeline, what to expect. Listen, Michelle and I and Chloe, we grabbed some dinner last night, and we were getting quizzed by the waitress. The server. All right, hold on. We're running late here. Let me grab a quick break because we're about 10 minutes overtime here. Let me grab a quick break. I want to tell you about our experience last night at the Colony Grill in Midtown. Our server's from Connecticut, and she was drilling us. She was quizzing us about what she should do. So I want to fill you in on that. Michelle's sister, Mandy, just texted me. She can take our call. She was trying to change some flights around, and she said that her airline was not being very accommodating. Which I don't understand that. All right, hold on. We got an hour to go almost. The 9 o'clock hour starts next here on the MJ Morning Show. We're loaded, so don't move. Keep listening here to the MJ Morning Show on 104.7 FM. It is Q105. Right, 9:04 at the MJ Morning Show. We will be here tomorrow morning. Again, we're not going to really have, I think, horrible conditions tomorrow morning on the drive in. I mean, listen, everything is pretty much going to be closed. I think our office, Andrew, have they closed our office for tomorrow? I think they have.
Yeah, they say we're supposed to work from home.
Yeah, sure, right. We'll be here, obviously, on-air personnel. We're going to be doing the show right from the studio. And even I perceive that when we leave here at 10 a.m., and we'll stay on longer. If conditions warrant, we'll stay on longer. But I'm pretty sure that during our show tomorrow, 6 to 10 a.m., that things are not going to be horrible. I think we'll have gusty wind, we'll have some rain bands. But again, I think more of the worst is going to be more toward the afternoon into the evening. And then as far as surge, the surge event, which is what they're most concerned about here in the Tampa Bay area, you heard Dennis Phillips say just a few minutes ago, he thought surge was going to be really a 9 p.m. tomorrow night to 1 a.m. window. So Thursday night into Friday morning. So that's what we're expecting. All right, 9:05 at the MJ Morning Show. I want to call my sister-in-law, Michelle's sister, because she was trying to change flights. And, you're seeing some of the news reports now. Oh, the airlines are being very accommodating. Michelle told me that the airline that my sister-in-law was getting ready to fly, they were not being very accommodating yesterday. She was trying to change things around. I think she's heading to some kind of conference somewhere. Hold on. So let me see if she'll take our call here. Calling Mandy. This is Michelle's younger sister.
This is your sister-in-law.
Yeah, I said that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who lives in Chiefland.
Yeah.
So weird.
Why is living in Chiefland weird?
I mean, doesn't she miss like paved roads and stuff?
Please stop.
Hello?
I mean,
hey, Mandy, it's your brother-in-law. How you doing?
Is there anything?
I'm doing fine, MJ. How are you?
Mandy, is there anything in Chiefland besides a Dollar General? I mean, seriously.
Yes, we have a Walmart, and we have a Save-A-Lot.
Hey, the cell service sounds good.
Is there a Publix in Chiefland?
You know what? When I first moved here, the cell service, as you know, was garbage.
Oh,
but
yeah.
we've had a tower added somewhere, so that helps.
Yeah, no, it sounds good.
Is there a Publix or a Winn-Dixie in Chiefland?
Just Winn-Dixie. We have Winn-Dixie, Walmart, Save-A-Lot. That's pretty much it.
There's no Publix in Chiefland?
Nope. Closest Publix is going to be at least 45 minutes, maybe.
What? Really?
Yes.
Wow.
No pub subs for us.
All right. Let's talk about the air travel issue. So I don't have the whole story. Just Michelle was telling me, because you've been in touch with Michelle because you were asking us, because from Chiefland, when you guys fly out, you guys drive down to Tampa International to fly out, and you're supposedly heading to some kind of a convention for work. And you had asked Michelle, and she asked me, what should you do? And, I said, listen, I think that the airport's going to be primarily open on Wednesday. Thursday, forget it. Tampa International is going to shut down either late tonight or midnight or whatever. Tampa International is not going to be open tomorrow, to the best of my knowledge. I think that's the way it's going to, pan out. So when were you supposed to leave on a flight, and where are you going?
So there's 7 of us that were supposed to travel out tomorrow. 4 of us were flying out of Tampa.
Yep.
And 3 of us were going to fly out of Gainesville. I was going to fly out of Gainesville with 2 of my state officers.
Okay.
And so the flight out of Tampa tomorrow was supposed to be like the last Southwest flight into DC. So
listen, that flight, commercially, nothing's leaving Tampa International tomorrow because the airlines are not going to put their assets. They're going to get all of their assets, all of their planes out of Dodge, out of town. They're not going to be here. So what happened with them?
So Monday we started looking at the storm track and trying to decide like what's our best options. And we started calling the airlines and going online trying to shift our flights around. The Tampa folks, they were trying to do it Monday night, but they were getting the change fees, like whatever the difference in the airfare, they were still getting potentially charged for that. So
what airlines were they dealing with? Do you know which ones?
Out of Tampa, it was Southwest, and then out of Gainesville, we're on Delta.
All right. Now, what about the change fees out of Gainesville? Was Delta hitting you with change fees also?
So it was a little. So the one girl who booked direct, they were going to initially charge her, change fees and airfare, increase fees, whatever the difference was. But I guess she was on the phone with them so long, the lady thankfully waived her fees. Now she booked direct. Now 2 of us, we booked through Expedia, so that's where the problem lies.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes using the third-party booking outfits, you don't get quite the service you're going to get if you book directly through the airline.
They cannot help you until your trip has already started. So, like, if we had already flown, the first leg or even got all the way to D.C. and then we're having issues coming back, Delta could not help us until our trip had already began. So I sat on hold for an hour before the Delta rep told me that.
All right, so where do things stand now with the 7 people in your group going to this convention? Has everyone...
So we're all rebooked. The Southwest crew from Tampa, they were able to just... They waited till yesterday morning because as of yesterday morning, Southwest had issued a statement that certain airports were going to be impacted, which included Tampa.
All right, so then they started waiving the change fees and they were being more accommodating.
Yes, exactly.
All right, so before I let you roll, is everyone now rebooked and you're leaving early?
Yes, I leave tonight at 7:45, and with my 2 people, and then the Tampa folks that are flying out leave today at 4:20.
All right.
So we should all be good.
All right, are they going to 4:20 before the 4:20?
Yeah.
What?
These are kids. They don't know about that.
Gotcha. All right, Mandy. Listen, safe travels. And listen, the airlines seem to be coming around. You guys were early on the cutting edge of trying to change, knowing that you're not getting out on Thursday. So I'm glad.
Even if we got, bumped on Thursday, trying to get on Friday with everybody else that was delayed, our conference starts on Friday. So we didn't want to take that risk. We'd rather be there a day early than, not get there or get there, days later.
Yeah, go see the Washington Monument and the Jefferson Memorial. That's, the Jefferson Memorial is very underappreciated.
It is.
It is,
yeah.
It's beautiful.
All right. And listen, Mandy, have a great trip. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to her. Just I know a lot of people might have flights affected, and it seems that all the airlines now are accommodating folks. So if you have a flight on Thursday, you're not going. All right. So you got to get out now. You got to get out. And I would imagine that operations will return to normal on Friday, but it might be a little slow ramping up. I would imagine you're going to have some early cancellations on Friday as well, just because equipment is not on the ground flying out first thing on Friday morning because of no equipment being on the ground on Thursday. Because they typically get their $90, $100 million airplanes out of town, so they're not sitting on the ramp.
Yeah, they know what to do when these storms come around.
Even though this thing is going to be well offshore, we're still going to have effects here. All right, 9:12 at the MJ Morning Show.
I'm going to fly Spirit next week.
You are. Listen, I've been on Spirit now 4 times.
Yeah, I know. I was like, well, MJ's done it. He's had good experiences.
Yep.
I mean, I've flown it before, but it's been a while.
Yeah, I never thought I'd fly Spirit, and they just have convenient times for me to see my dad down in Fort Lauderdale. My dad's getting up there later in October. He turns 82, and listen, things are happening. He's 82, so I'm getting over there a little more. And it turns out that the airline I said I would never fly, I'm flying, and I'm getting exactly what I expect. And so far, thumbs up for Spirit for me.
Nice.
So we're going to fly over at the end of October to see my dad. We're all flying over because it's my dad's birthday, 82nd birthday, and I've already booked our fares. We're flying for $38.99 a piece over.
You can't beat that.
Tampa International on a newish Airbus 320 on Spirit. Tampa International, Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood. I booked our seats, Michelle, Chloe, and me, $38.99. And you know what? I usually, I kind of game the system and I don't pay extra for a seat and I just wait for them to assign me a seat to check in, and I strategically wait until the back of the plane is filled and there's not a middle seat as the next seat that's going to be given out. And I try to strategically check in and pay no seat fee. However, booking this far out, it was $8 to pick the seat. So I said, listen, I'm paying $38.99 to fly from Tampa to Fort Lauderdale.
Here's your $8.
I'm going to pay the extra $8. And so we got a whole row. We're like row 7A, B, and C. We're right near the front of the plane, and it was $8 a seat, so I forked it over. But again, I got to be honest. I never thought I'd say this. I think I'm becoming a Spirit Airlines fanboy.
Listen, they are the most honest of all the airlines. It is exactly what it is.
It is what it is. It is exactly what I expect. And so far, they have not let me down.
No.
I've gotten exactly what I've expected, and I've had a 180-degree turnaround.
They manage people's expectations for sure.
All right, so I'm getting my toothus fixed later this afternoon.
Oh, good.
I forked up my tooth. I bit down on a fork while eating salad.
And you hit right there at the corner.
Yeah, so I've got a chipped lateral incisor. Those are the teeth right next to your middle teeth. And on the right side of my right middle tooth, it's right as I'm looking at it. If you're looking at me, it's my left. So my left lateral incisor, I made a delicious kale salad, tossed it. By the way, I don't buy salad dressing anymore. Every once in a while, I'll buy that Mikoto, the Japanese ginger dressing.
Yeah.
But my go-to dressing, I don't like creamy dressings. I think ranch is the devil. Oh God.
Ranch is great. Especially on pizza.
Oh, God. What, Andrew, did you say that on the air or off the air?
Off.
Say it on the air. Come on.
Blue cheese.
Yeah, so phones are ringing, everything's going on in there. So it's okay. You're busy. You're in the booth.
Right.
You can have the phones ring in the background.
You work
It shows people that people are engaged in calling the radio show. All right. Blue cheese is. I would rather have a 300-degree red-hot cattle prod shoved up my rear end than eat blue cheese. Oh my! I don't like those cheeses.
I'll take them both.
Essentially, from feta cheese forward. Gorgonzola feta all the way up to like rancid blue cheese.
It's not gargonzola. You don't gargle. It's gorgonzola.
Whatever the hell it is. I hate those cheeses. I love cheese. I'm a huge cheese fan, but I don't like that whole blue cheese feta, that fungusy, mungy. Ugh, I don't like that category of cheese. So I made myself a kale salad with my homemade Italian vinaigrette olive oil dressing with 12 different spices, tossed it, shaved some award-winning Sartori Parmesan, great parm, made in Wisconsin, award-winning. It's world-class, fantastic parm. And I made myself a nice, healthy kale salad. And I don't know what it is. I do not bite down on tableware with any other food except for salads. And there's just something about the salad dynamic that I'll bite down before the fork has been extracted from my mouth.
I think you need to be checked out. I think you need to be examined for this issue.
So on Sunday night, I chipped my tooth. It's not as bad as like Lloyd Christmas, Jim Carrey, and Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
But it's got a little chip out of the corner. And listen, can I go through the rest of my life with this little chip? And is it a big deal? No. But it bothers me. So Dr. Childers, who we've had a great relationship with for what, like 20 years?
25?
For a long time. Dr. Childers out of Sarasota, he did all of our mangle mouths. I mean, what, 100 plus? We did tons of mangle mouth makeovers where he fixed people's, disaster smiles. He he's going to pick up his girlfriend at Tampa International later this afternoon. She's coming in on an international flight. And he said, yeah, I'll fix your tooth. I got a friend in Feather Sound. He'll let me use one of the rooms in his office. So I'm going to get my toofus fixed. I'll do a before and after. That's what I'll do. I'll do a little before and after. And we'll post it up on my social media. So I'm going to get my chipped tooth fixed. Hey, I can show you on MJTV. Hang on a minute. You see,
Yeah, I see that little chip.
Do you see it?
Yeah, you know what would look great with that?
What?
A Lloyd Christmas bowl cut.
You would.
Get the whole look going.
You're absolutely
Hey, you
right.
want to hear the most annoying sound? So I'll have my tooth fixed. I'll do a before and after. So I'm very, very excited about that. All right, 9:19 at the MJ Morning Show. You know what today is?
Oh yeah, it's National what day?
Yeah, I hate these days. I don't typically mention it's National this day because, if you look at the calendar, and there's a website that keeps track of this, every day there are like 10 things that it's a national day of. And today is a national day. While I typically don't mention national days, this one I think is particularly interesting because of my love for this element of life, our occupation, what we do for a living, this radio station. So hold on a minute. What is it? I'll do the revelation. It's going to be interactive. We have some. Hey, Andrew, did you pull some additional classic ones of these? Did you pull some additionals?
How many do we have?
Well, we got a couple that I just like. No one's going to know what they are anyway, so I'm going to delete a couple of these. All right, so what are we talking about? Are you curious? You'll find out first thing next here on the MJ Morning Show. Also, we have a lot more to jam in the final segment here on a Wednesday as we get into prep mode, as we're just hoping that the track verifies and just stays well offshore, but we'll still have some effects. Hey, speaking of effects, Westfall Roofing is here for you. 9:28 at the MJ Morning Show. Just got a text from Chloe. Dad, we need to evacuate. Yeah, we are in a Zone A in South Tampa, but I don't feel the need to evacuate. I'm very comfortable with our structure. The fact that my house is 11 feet 3 inches above average sea level height in my neighborhood. Yeah, let me call Chloe. She's all freaking out. Hang on. Calling. Chloe has no work today, by the way.
Well, they closed the office?
Yeah, so Chloe is a legal assistant.
Hello.
Hey, Chloe. Didn't even ring. Good morning.
Morning.
If you want to evacuate, you can evacuate.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, don't tell her that. She's off to Orlando to the boyfriend's house.
Yeah, no, the boyfriend lives like in Shore Acres area.
Oh, yeah, he's coming to your house.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, Chet is coming to our house. All right, so yeah, we are. Chloe just texted me, guys. We're in a Zone A. We need to evacuate. All right, well, here's the deal. Breaking news on the Hillsborough County front. Yeah, just out a short time ago, Hillsborough County has issued a mandatory evacuation for Evacuation Zone A and for all mobile homes and manufactured homes within the county starting at 9 a.m. today. The county has opened 6 shelters for residents in Evacuation Zone A, those whose homes are vulnerable to storm surge and flooding, and for manufactured homes that are susceptible to wind damage. Oh, I just got a text. Look at that. As I'm speaking, I just got a text from 88911, Hillsborough County Zone A evacuation, Tropical Storm Helene, Hillsborough County. Literally, I just got a link to exactly what I'm reading right now. It just rolled over. Did anyone else get a text alert?
I'm not Zone A.
I guess I'm signed up for these. I
didn't get it. Yeah.
Yeah. I must. I don't know if I voluntarily signed up, but I just got a notification, a text from Hillsborough County about Evacuation Zone A. And then Pinellas County yesterday. Fester, what was the Pinellas County? Was it nursing homes?
Nursing homes, hospitals were ordered to evacuate.
Assisted living facilities, and I believe
in their Zone A.
Right. So Pinellas County officials issued a mandatory evacuation order yesterday for residents in Evacuation Zone A who live in healthcare facilities. So is it just healthcare facilities?
Well, yeah, so far. I mean, maybe they have, and the people too.
Listen, my thoughts are I'm in a I'm in Beach Park. I'm in South Tampa. My house is high. We're expecting a storm surge. If you heard Dennis Phillips earlier today, he thinks the storm surge event is going to be more later tomorrow, 9 p.m. to 1 a.m., where there's a 5 to 8 foot surge. Listen, if you're living on the water in South Tampa or in Pinellas County, you've got one of the older homes built in the 50s or the 60s. And listen, I've got homes in my neighborhood that are on slab. They are literally on slab. My home is built 5 feet or 5.5 feet above the average grade of my lot. My lot sits at 6 feet above sea level, and I built my house up another 5.5 or so I'm a little over 11 feet up. I believe I'm fine, especially with a storm this far off, even with a 5 to 8 foot surge, if it actually verifies. But, folks that are right on slab, listen, this thing's going to be far offshore if the track remains. But we're still going to see rain, not as much as Debbie, because this thing's going to be booking. It's going to be going a lot faster, not lingering. But we're going to have, the bands and the wind gusts of a tropical storm, 39, 40 miles an hour plus. We're going to have those gusts. So, make the best decision. But you have some mandatory evacuations that have been issued for Pinellas. Check your county. And now we have Hillsborough, which literally just came out in the last half an hour. And the text just went out, at least to my phone, 2 minutes ago, as you heard. I mean, I'm on the air here, and I literally got a text while we're on the air.
But you're not going anywhere.
No, we're not. Listen, if we had a Category 3 coming right for my house.
Up the mouth of Tampa Bay.
Yeah, then that's a different story.
Well, that's not the case.
110 miles off the coast of Indian Rocks Beach is a different story. So, listen, but you make the decision. So, Chloe, I think we're going to be okay.
Okay.
Oh, plus aren't you pet sitting a neighbor? Well, when does the pet sitting gig start?
Friday night.
Oh, yeah, you're fine. It's past that. Yeah, Chloe's pet sitting for a neighbor.
What kind of pet?
Walrus.
Ooh. They eat a lot of fish.
I think 2 little Shih Tzus or something. What kind of dogs are they, Chloe?
I don't know. They're just 2 little cute guys.
They're little vibrating they're little white, furry, 7-pound little vibrating little rodent-looking dogs.
So are you?
No, they are not.
Are you staying at the house to pet sit, or are you just going over 3 times a day to walk the pups?
No, I'm staying at their house.
Yeah. Be going through all their refrigerators and everything.
Got a little Chloe B&B going on here.
All right. Yeah, Chloe, did you get the alert? Did you get a text as well?
No. I watched Chad Chronister.
Oh, you saw.
Oh, so he said it.
Yeah. So, you're watching TV.
No, he posted a reel on Instagram.
Oh, he did? Okay. All right. So Sheriff Chronister, I guess, posted a reel that Chloe saw. So for, Zone A evacuation in Hillsborough County. And then Chloe works for the Hillsborough County State Attorney's Office. Chloe's a legal assistant in one of the felony divisions for the next year until she heads off to law school. At least that's the plan. And your office, they closed today and tomorrow.
Yeah, they did. That was a surprise to me because I feel like it was kind of like school. They rarely close and they rarely want to close. But I don't know. They just, out of an abundance of caution, wanted to close the office. So
you know what sucks? Chloe, once schools close, a lot of businesses, their hands are forced.
Yeah. Yep.
Because you think about how many
parents.
people. Yeah, the parents. I mean, if if I worked a regular job, I probably would have called in today because I got the kids home.
Oh, 100%. And our office is filled with parents.
Sure.
So I think it was a good decision.
Yep. All right. Well, listen, Chloe, I'll see you soon on the way home.
Okay, Mom and I are going for breakfast.
What do you mean you're going for breakfast?
We're going to get pancakes. Bye.
Well, hold on. I've got the car.
There's such a thing called an Uber.
We'll just Uber.
Why don't you just wait? I'll be home just wait for me. I'll be home in half an hour.
Meh.
Tell Mom to wait, and I'll go with you guys to breakfast.
All right, I'll see what the boss says.
What a control freak.
What do you mean?
He'll pay. I mean, he'll go to breakfast. It's half an hour.
Oh, I'll pay?
He'll pay anyway.
Trust me, I'm paying anyway, yes.
Yeah, you don't even eat. You just show up and you pay the bill.
Listen, I can be home by 10, 12, okay?
Okay.
All right, so just wait for me. I'll go to breakfast with you guys.
All right.
Do you know where you're going? Do you have an idea?
No, not yet. But the person I'm pet sitting for just texted and said she's listening, and they are mini golden doodles.
Mini Goldens.
Cute puppies. That's awesome.
They're mini golden doodles.
Oh, you'll love them.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Tell Mom to wait up, and I'll go to breakfast with you guys.
All right. See you later.
Hey,
Bye.
MJ, you just reminded me of something
What?
when just thinking about the girls without a car. You have the car. You drive everywhere, probably, right? Is it you who drives when it's you and Michelle driving around town?
Yeah, but
right?
like Michelle, I was at home after the show yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and Michelle had errands to run. She had her hair done yesterday, so she grabbed the car. And listen, one thing we learned about being up in New York for a while, all we had was one car. Most people have no car. We had one. And when we came back during COVID, and here I am, relaunching the MJ Morning Show on Q105, 104.7. I leave the house at 5 a.m. I'm back just after 10. Michelle doesn't really need to go anywhere that early. And when I'm home. And she has the car for the rest of the day. So we're saving on a car payment or a lease payment.
I'm not going, yeah.
We're saving on insurance. And, we're saving, we figure with the kind of cars we like to drive, we're saving like $25,000 a year.
Yes, you are. That's not where I'm going, though, with this, though. Okay, so Daviana and I are going to take a mother-daughter trip next weekend. Just spur of the moment, we decided to do this. So that's why we're flying Spirit. And we're going to go see my aunt in North Carolina. And my older daughter can't go because she's got Nutcracker rehearsals, and I don't want her to miss any school.
Those
right?
Nutcracker rehearsals.
And so Doug is staying back with her. And so Doug is
So Doug has to take her to Nutcracker rehearsals?
Yeah, he does.
Or just puts her in the back of an Uber?
No, not at all. He's hands-on. But he's nervous about me driving from Charlotte to Blowing Rock, like from the Charlotte International Douglas Airport to Blowing Rock. And it's so funny. I started to think to myself.
How long's the ride?
It's a 2-hour drive.
Is that toward the mountains?
It's into the mountains.
In the mountains?
Yeah. But it's so funny because I think to myself, quite frankly, I'm a little bit nervous too because I rely on him so much. He is the primary driver. The only place I ever drive in my life
is here.
Ah, and I'm like, wait, I am going to have to GPS things. And so it's funny and if you go back in time 10 years ago, I would drive in New York City. I would drive in snow, and I don't even know how to drive in snow. I would drive everywhere.
Listen, just make sure you get a nice sized SUV for
we'll
safety.
Get a big SUV.
Don't end up like in a Chevy Spark or something,
Yeah, no, we'll get a big.
Don't get a smart car, which are not very smart. You know, a bicycle runs into that thing, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
All right. So, get a nice car and,
I'm sure I'll be fine. But my point is, I wonder if Michelle ever thinks that too. Like, okay, MJ is the primary driver.
Yeah.
It's never even a question.
Yeah.
Never, we go as a family, I drive.
Right.
One time when we were dating, Allison said, I'll drive. And I was like, okay. And then we get out, we get on the road, and she pulls over and she goes, can you drive? And I was like, well, why did you even offer? And she goes, I wanted to be polite. And then we just made the rule. Listen, if we go somewhere, I'll drive. If I can't drive, I'll tell you.
Right.
So it's sort of like the thing where you offer to do something, so it seems like you're offering and being generous, but you know that the person is never going to take you up on the offer.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, you're shocked and they do.
She did it one time during our dating stage. It was like, I'll drive. I'm like, okay, you drive. We get in her car and she pulls over. She goes, can you drive? I'm like, why?
Hey,
she's,
I don't want to creep you guys out,
but
I got a creepy story. All right. How much time? We got a couple more minutes here. All right. So I got a creepy story. Roxanne, so you're traveling. You're going to be flying from Tampa to Charlotte?
Yes, Spirit.
All right. Have you ever done one of those in-airport massages?
I have.
Okay, so you have.
I have.
Well, first of all, I try to make sure that I am nowhere near an airport that has any kind of a layover that would allow me to get a massage, a manicure, a pedicure. Now, listen, I've had some international transfers. For instance, when I flew to the Maldives with Julian to go scuba diving, we had a fairly long layover in Doha, in Qatar. But, man, that airport's amazing, and the business class lounge was insane, all-you-can-eat sushi bar. So that was good. I don't mind that kind of layover. But I'm the kind of person where I kind of have things figured out. I know how long I have to leave Manhattan to get to LaGuardia or JFK. I've got Clear and TSA pre-check, so I know how to, kind of time things out. I want to spend the least amount of time. Like Tampa International, we got this thing figured out. We live 5 minutes from the airport. I wish that Tampa International would get Clear, but the TSA pre-check works very, very well. But I don't want to spend time in the airport.
I hear you.
I've got some friends that get there 2 hours early to go have a
early.
drink at the bar before the flight. What the? I don't want to do that.
Oh.
I want to get to the airport like when they're like the boarding group before mine.
Yeah.
Like if I'm boarding group 3, I want to get there when they're boarding group 2. All right, that's when I want to show up to the airport. And then I try to look for, like, for instance, Michelle and I, because the nonstop Breeze flight schedule from Tampa to Norfolk didn't work for us a couple of weekends ago, so we had to fly American through Charlotte, which I hate.
Right.
I hate the Charlotte airport.
Really?
So,
Douglas?
Oh, I hate that's the
What's your hate?
That airport's awful.
Really?
Well, the people movers never work. It's that airport's I hate it. Anyway, so we had tight connections, and one of the flights we were running to, but that's the way I like it. I'm going from one plane to the next. I don't want 2, 3, 4 hour layovers. My God, that's like torture. It's misery. So I try to do my best. Now, here's the story. So you obviously had a long layover, and you did a massage and a mani-pedi?
Yeah, I haven't done the mani-pedi, but I've done the massages, and I'm a big fan of
a stranger touching your body?
Well, of course that. I mean, I just go through TSA if I want a lot of that. But the thing that I love is those massages where you're in the thing where you're bent over and you have your chest on this pad. I like those angles. Something about a chair massage when you're bent forward, rather than being on your stomach or being on your back in the on the massage bed. I like those.
So, which airport did you last get an airport massage in?
I think maybe San Francisco.
How long ago was this?
Years ago. Like
okay.
5 years ago.
All right. Well, I don't want to creep people out.
Okay.
But
what are they, like the most unsanitary places in the entire airport?
No. Woman issues spa warning.
Oh, great.
After she was sexually assaulted by a massage person at the DFW, which is Dallas Fort Worth.
Oh no.
Yeah. Other investigations. Sadie Cole says a massage therapist sexually assaulted her at a spa in the airport on August 11th.
Well, that's weird because they're right out in the open.
Yeah. Says it's been under investigation. She posted a video online. She says that the alleged assailant has parted ways with the spa at DFW. But I guess there is an investigation. And so what constitutes, I guess, if they get too close to the breasts or if they get too close in the buttocks or other areas? We've heard these stories in the past. Listen, most massage therapists are so professional. They don't get even close to any. I mean, I'm not a massage person per se. I can't tell you the last time I had one. It's been a long, long time. So I'm not really a massage guy. But I know plenty of people that swear by them, and there are great therapists that are out there. But that's got to suck. You're getting a massage while you're laying over to Dallas Fort Worth, and you get sexually assaulted by the massage guy.
Okay, not to make light of this, but here's my massage confession. When I go for the typical, hour-long or 50-minute lay-down massage, I notice they always ask you, "Are you okay if I do your glutes?" And I'm like, "Why do you think I'm here?" That's who
So
says
like,
no?
Touch my butt. Touch my butt.
Who says no to that? It's a muscle.
Touch my butt.
It needs, like who?
Do you like a deep
Who denies
glute?
that?
You like a deep glute rub?
I
like
do.
where they really dig in?
Yes. Get in there with your knuckles.
Yeah.
For sure.
Work it out.
Knuckle Roxanne's butt. I just thought this was kind of creepy. Anyway, the guy apparently still has his permit or his license through the state of Texas. So anyway, I guess there's a police report, arrest records. But I guess this is probably the extreme outlier in a case like this. But I just thought, airport and you're touched wrong at an airport massage place. Yikes. Anything else before we get out of here today?
That's it. I mean, storm effects later today, right?
Well, you're going to start seeing rain later tonight and some of the wind bands. And then the real event for us is tomorrow. So what we can expect, and again, this path has not really moved. There's a little bit of a jog west on some of the models, so a little further away from us. But again, I don't believe that we're going to have a direct hit.
No.
I mean,
Nobody thinks that.
No one thinks. However, I still have a percentage of weariness that resides inside.
I mean, if we do, we're screwed.
And once I'm not 100% comfortable until that storm passes our latitude. That's when I start to get really comfortable. But the models all show this thing out in the center of the Gulf, over 100 miles offshore, but we are going to have effects. We are going to have rain. Starting later tonight, we'll start having bands and some wind. But for us, the real event is tomorrow. 100% chance tomorrow. We're going to have tropical storm gusts over a lot of the Tampa Bay area because it's a massive storm. The big concern is storm surge from Thursday night into early Friday morning. 5 to 8 foot storm surge in the immediate Bay Area and more as you travel north of the Pinellas Coast into Pasco, Hernando, Citrus, Levy. So storm surge is going to increase. That's where we are. I mean, it probably will bring power outages, even with some tropical storm force winds. Hopefully there's good mitigation and the local power companies have a good handle. Hopefully power outages, which are a pain in the butt, will be minimal. But this is a storm that's going to be well offshore, but we are going to have effects, and those effects will be really later tomorrow morning into tomorrow afternoon and early evening when we will see the brunt here in the immediate Tampa Bay area. We got you covered. We'll have Dennis Phillips back on tomorrow morning, live here on the MJ Morning Show. Anything else, guys, before we cruise on out?
Be careful out there.
Yeah, that's it. Be careful.
Well, that's what I say.
I know.
Why'd you rip off and you preempted my line?
Follow at Roxanne Wilder.
Yes, please.
Yes, don't forget that.
All right. Let's give away Rocky Horror tickets right now. This is a cool deal. So the 49th anniversary tour of the Rocky Horror Picture Show is now in effect, and they're going to be stopping by the Mahaffey Theater on October 3rd. Patricia Quinn, she's one of the originals. She was Magenta. She's going to be there for a VIP meet and greet. Caller number 25 right now, 800-990-1047. You'll got Rocky Horror tickets for the Mahaffey on October 3rd. Caller number 25, 800-990-1047. And with that, we got to roll. Fester, any last words here on the Wednesday broadcast?
I think my follow at Roxanne Wilder was my last words for today.
That was it?
That's a good way to finish.
All right. Have a great day, folks. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning. MJ Morning Show on Q105. And you want to steal it again, Roxanne?
Let's be careful out there.
There we go. Thank you so much.
The Q105 app is your connection to all the